Hello and welcome. You have arrived. We have arrived. We have joined you, who you are already here. Welcome to Illuminated Page, our weekly jaunt through Eldritch Terrors as our team continues their time in France tonight. Least but not last, I am your keeper, Rue Thompson, and I am joined by our usual cast of characters. Now, we didn't decide on this. You guys just want me to introduce you myself? We can just breeze past it. Is that a nod?
Yeah, sure.
Ala plays Emily Brandt. Alyssa plays Cleo Dandridge. Matt, Johanna Rinaldi Stott. I'm not going to list all of her 17 names. And Sean is Kelsey Haskins. You guys know him. If you're new here, say so in the chat. I'd love to hear from you, and then we can do more in-depth introductions. But right now, everybody should know these folks and what their problems are and what jobs they've been assigned within the group, which is usually babysitter, touch the things, locksmith. I think that's right.
I mean, 99% right.
Okay, thank you. I do have the green water bottle. I have two of them tonight, so I'm going to go doubly invisible when I start two-fisting my water glasses. This week, before we get too much farther, do have some announcements. This week, our pirate show is back by leaps and bounties, and by popular demand, we are moving it an hour earlier. So it's going to start an hour earlier. It's still going to run till 11. It's going to be a 4-hour show instead of a 3-hour show. So get ready for that, folks. And that will be at 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific. Growing Shadows is back as well this Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific or Eastern. And then let's see, we don't have another show this week, but I do want to go ahead and prep you for Emerald City Nights, a Shadowrun 5th edition limited series that's going to start happening Wednesdays in April. A GM will be joining us that has been in several of our Seriously Let's Plays lately. They're going to take over the hot seat for that show. John is in it, who you can't see right now. Matt is in it, who you can see right now.
Yeah.
And Sean, are you in it?
No, it's going to be on Wednesdays, and my project is ramping up in April, so I had to bow out this time.
Not a problem. Sean had to say no. Guys, mark it down.
We got Greg from X-Crawl.
Greg LaRose from X-Crawl. That will be great. He might pop up in chat sometimes. If you come to our Thursday show, he's almost always in our Thursday chats. And then Matt, I'm going to kick it to you because you're going to talk about a Kickstarter for our channel friend Jason Piercy.
Yeah, actually, my two very good friends, Jason and Jason. It's super convenient. They wrote a game that's powered by the apocalypse called The Real Thing. It's licensed by Faith No More. They licensed Faith No More's music. That's the way I should say that. But it's very much what it is in its niche. So if you like Faith No More at all, I highly suggest checking out. Just go look up The Real Thing on Kickstarter. They've already more than doubled their goal. The writing is solid. They really push the music through and give it a good feel. And I'm really proud of what they've put together because it's solid. And the art. The art is really good. The artist is James Monsingo. I think that's his name. He's done some stuff for some other board games. And I really like his art too. So definitely worth checking out. And if you wanted to support my friends, that would be fantastic. They're good. They're good writers.
They're good peeps.
Can you link the Kickstarter in chat?
I mean, that would make sense. Let me do that. Why would I
Matt?
not already think that?
This is a fucking business. Get your job.
Oh my
Get your job done.
I'm just curious. I want to check it out. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So. I will link that here in just a second as soon as Kickstarter pops up because I don't have that ready.
Well, while you're finding it, John has it. If you want John to just dump it.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
He's already got it. There we go. Some minor housekeeping as we prep to go into the session tonight. I need some luck advances from my people.
Woohoo!
Roll your percentile dice. Oh God, we lost Cleo already. Oh, there she is.
She's already gone. I forgot to hardwire in my laptop, and my Wi-Fi is not great.
So.
Oh. I've lost a dice. If I don't grab it now, I'm going to lose it to a cat. So give me a second.
Okay, luck advances.
Yeah, luck advances. I'm going to try to remember night. Oh yeah, you're fine. You don't. You're maxed out.
Oh yeah, that's good. I was down some.
And then audience, if you haven't already, prep your bingo cards. God damn it, I've got 5 of them out there for you to use. See if somebody. I think we actually got some bingos last week. I have no prizes for you. It is literally just you figured out how to color a line on a grid. So I'm proud of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You get a clap from us
Yes.
and our love.
Yeah, if you announce your bingo in chat and one of us sees it, we'll shout bingo on air and probably scare the crap out of me because I'm not looking at the chat. So, what's happening? I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else to talk about beforehand. If somebody thinks of something, we'll do it. What is? Oh, that's the hookah. I was like, what is that? What is that? What is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear that?
That's okay. I couldn't until just a moment ago. We're good though. It's fine.
My bad.
Last time, I will. Let's just recap what we did last time, and you guys can help me remember what you had decided to do. I think I remember though. Last time we gathered, our investigators continued their time in Paris, researching for several days with the help of a research assistant, Remy Vongheim, and visiting the catacombs where they had a brief, if not tragic, encounter with a ghoul named Guillaume. They did not kill him though. That was very nice of them. They just left the poor creature to his fate. When we left them, though, they were considering 2 possible leads of investigation: the Carrington Asylum, where journals from prior to the revolution indicated Fenelic had been taken, or to Poissy, where his manor once stood. I think that pretty much sums up. There was a lot of research.
There was a ghoul.
Yep, Guillaume. And I think that was about it. Oh, and a tour guide tried to get fresh with the Countess, because nobody would stop it from happening. And so I had to roleplay that out with Matt for a second until somebody...
Excuse me, Cleo definitely kept popping in and be like, tell me more.
Oh yeah,
about
that's
these
right.
catacombs.
That's right. Yeah, you were doing
And
your
it
best.
was
To
funny.
be best
It was
cop out.
funny.
It was funny. It was funny. But yeah, so this week I think we finished off at the house and y'all were just talking. Did you decide? You had talked about sending someone ahead to Poissy.
Yeah,
To
we,
perhaps see if there was something on the site, but I believe I told you that it would be a little difficult because there were no real addresses.
right.
And so there would have to be some research done to figure out where the property was located previously.
I think we were wanting to hit the asylum first because that's probably the strongest lead we had.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So to the Carrington Asylum, we shall go. Do you guys want to do anything in the meantime while I pull up my book? Chit chat.
Have a nice filling breakfast, catch up on world news. Wait
Oh,
2 hours
yeah,
for
we
everybody
should-
else to wake up.
Sean, you're my date keeper. Is it the 16th or the 15th?
It's the 17th.
Haha. Okay. Let me see if I can find you some news tidbits from the 17th. Talk amongst yourselves. This is. I don't have the book open. It doesn't matter. I'll give you some headlines later. Shit's happening. The forces are. There's occupation in the rue. People are pissed. There's demonstrations in the streets of Paris. Your research assistant was very much a socialist in attending these demonstrations. We didn't talk about it much because there's enough politics going on. We don't need to deal with it. Oh, a thing I forgot. We finished our drive last week for bits, Twitch bits, subs, and all that stuff. We raised a total of $300 after a generous benefactor matched our donations. So thank you all for Ukraine relief. That's the word. I was like, shit, what did we donate for? There's shit going on. What is it? Yeah, to the Red Cross. So thank you very much for everybody who donated to that. That was I was impressed by our little group of motley RPG players and viewers. So thank you all so much.
A very important news bit from 1923, January 17th specifically, is the autogyro, invented by a Spanish man, was first documented to have flown. There you go.
That's awesome.
Super
I don't
important.
think the news headlines that it gives me are anywhere near that interesting. It's like, well, it's all war stuff, and
Yeah.
like the price of the Deutschmark, essentially. Like, it's slowly Germany's collapsing economy, after the war. So yeah, so you guys head off to the asylum. Did anybody want to check in? +5?
That's what we have right now.
Okay. There are 5 table rerolls, fam, so don't forget that. Please use them. I did
Did
turn
anybody
off.
want to check into the asylum? That's what it sounded like you were going to say. It was like, we're going to the asylum. Does anyone want to check in? And then
Does
it-
anybody
then
want
it
to
went
check into the
somewhere else.
asylum? Would you like
Not
would you like to be committed? Okay. Sorry, I was gonna look for those headlines, but it doesn't matter. Let's just look at the Carrington Asylum. So this place is was that your hookah or was that your cat?
That was
The hookah.
Okay.
It was
Okay, we're good. We're good.
I'm gonna adjust some
Sorry.
audio.
That's fine. So the asylum at Carrington, in its current form, is an enormous structure. It's a little daunting as you approach it. I'm sure you look a little strange. This group of 4 people approaching this asylum. I guess just for a day visit. It was founded in 1631, and it kind of looks like it. It's got enormous structure with roofs and arcades in the Italian style. And it has recently just changed directors, so when you enter, you do get the impression that the staff is a little lost. Like, things are changing, or have changed very quickly, and they really are trying to figure out their place and their duties in the current system. Who would you like to talk to? Would you like to just go up to the front? Do you remember why you're coming here to? Do you remember?
We want to find out where they kept the crazy nobleman.
Yeah, because Fenelek was sent there.
Reportedly,
Was.
at least.
Reportedly.
Yeah.
Reportedly,
And-
because
Yeah, I was gonna say, if should Johanna wish, he was of German descent. She could be like a distant cousin, maybe. Now we can't hear you at all, Matt.
push to talk. It's okay.
But that would be that's
That
the
would be
approach
something.
Emily would pitch. Is like, Vanessa Countess has a certain charm with such things. I'm sure we could politely ask for the records of the certain count that may or may not have been kept here, as is her right.
I can definitely do that. That's a very good plan. I like that.
As you enter, there of course is a desk, and again the staff looks a little. They're doing their jobs, but it doesn't take a psych roll to realize that they do seem a little confused. But someone does finally address you, and it's like, yes, hello. Are you here on for family or for a business inquiry? Like, are you a? Who are you? What? You're just standing at my desk. What?
I
Oh.
Countess Johanna Frederica. No,
Fenelek?
Johanna Elizabeth Frederica Rinaldi Stad. I was hoping to look into a very distant cousin that spent some time here some time ago. I don't believe that he is still living.
Okay. Do you have a name?
Do we have Fenelek's first name? Because Compt is his title.
Right. No.
I'm sure that in some of this research we got his first name, right?
I'm not joking. No.
We never. No, I actually think you specified that we never got his first name at some point.
He's just
the Compt.
It was beautiful, wonderful, like a sun's, whatever the journal said. He was like the sun shedding
fan
its
fiction.
gems upon us. Yeah, the diary of, you know.
His last name was Fenelek. He was a count.
And I take it German?
He was, yeah.
Okay. I mean, you were interested, and just wondering. You're gonna have to give me a minute. It's a little crazy around here. We've just changed directors, and give me a minute. And
Would it help if we provide you the general date that he was sent here? We believe it was under less than fortunate circumstances. His name may not even be attached to any record.
oh, interesting. Well,
Political things at the time. You know how they are.
this and she looks at the countess. She goes, "Did you say that you're not sure if he is alive anymore? I mean,
It has
I
been a
assumed
very long time. His family is concerned.
I would hope that he isn't, but the family is hoping to lay this to rest.
Guys, you know that phenolic was
1400s.
No, not 1400s.
No, French Rose. Sorry, French Rose.
1700s.
It's like 130 years ago. It's not that long.
Look, if he was into
You
weird
know what?
culty
Cleo
stuff, we don't
would
know.
not be shocked if he was still alive somewhere.
Sure.
Okay.
The
all we know-
crazies live a long time. It's
For all we know,
known
Guillaume
fact.
was actually Fenelic in the catacombs.
You never know. You never
That'd
know.
be-
That
that'd be real weird.
You know. Why don't you put a pin in that and see what happens? But she's like, she goes off and she's like, guys, you see her talking and she's like, motions at you and she's like, this family doesn't have. And she comes up, she goes, you know what? There's enough going on right now that I'm just going to take you to the room where we keep all of the records. I can let you look at everything. Did you give her an idea? Did you give her like 1780s, 1790s?
Yeah, the general, we're not certain, really. Records are very poor.
Okay. Yeah, and she's like, oh, okay, well, you're free to look at records prior to 1810, and she takes you down the hall. The place it's a very nice building. But it's definitely an asylum. You get a little bit of a discomfort walking through it, but most everybody treats you politely. Again, they just seem.
I'm
You find
confused. Did I throw out my
Yeah.
title and it actually worked? Because that's...
You
That's
didn't
not normal.
throw out your. Did you?
I
Did
did.
you say countess?
I did.
Oh, she just let you go. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it worked, but it didn't. It didn't.
Do you know
hinder
how many
this
people
time.
come in here claiming to be a countess? I mean, come on.
Well, that's true.
Didn't
but-
work
half
so
of them
much
are
as it
actually
was
in
just
here.
someone that was like, yeah, go. Just get away from me.
None of you like implied that you were there to admit them or showed any sort of psychological credentials. So, and it just seems like things are kind of busy, a little scattered, and she takes you to a room and she's like, again, this is our records up to 1810. Please don't take anything and don't make a mess. Clean up after yourself. Put everything back.
We would never think about taking anything.
No, of course not. Did she have a nameplate or something at the desk?
No.
Yeah,
It
well,
just says reception.
Madame, thank you for your assistance.
Yep. You're quite welcome. And she leaves and she's like, I'll come back and check on you in like 20 minutes. 20 minutes is enough, right? And she leaves.
We might need longer, please. Give us like 2 hours. We will make it worth your while.
Oh. Okay.
I'm sorry,
No.
did Emily just suggest handing out money? This
No, we will send her a nice
Orient.
bottle of wine. It is the polite thing to do.
This is like weird, bizarro world where my title works and Emily wants to give things away.
Well, I just asked for more time. I do not believe we will find what we are looking for in a scant 30 minutes.
Give me what's a good, I guess give me a psychology roll on this receptionist. Anybody who wants to. It's just a regular success will get you what you need.
I got a success.
Hard success.
You are completely assured that she's going to forget she let you in here in 5 minutes. She has got way too much stuff on her plate, so you could be in here, you could stay in here.
I'll
You
still
know?
send her a mediocre bottle of wine because it is the polite thing to do.
It is.
She let us in without even asking for our credentials to, or to check in. This is
Yeah,
perfect.
she's like, well, you said that it was family. She does point out that anything past 1810, the reason that they are not in this room is that they feel that it's too recent. Family could come and read things that are distressing. Before that, it's like, it's far enough back that it was great aunt or great grandpa. None of that, it's more to protect the people now from being upset or distressed by what they read. So let's see, what the only one of you that has any medical training at all would be Emily, right? Okay. And yours isn't like, you're just like first aid, right?
It's mostly, it's like field medicine. But I did put like a couple points. I got a couple points in medicine, so now that's at 11%. So maybe.
I mean, if you wanted to try to swing it, you could potentially break that 1810 wall if you wanted to try to persuade her to let you see the rest. But
I mean, I think we should see what we can find
Start
here,
here.
and if we can't find what we need, maybe I'll try that.
all right, then I need, guess what?
Library use?
Library rolls. Or French rolls. French rolls will be
French rolls.
I need I'm a little hungry, guys. I need some French rolls.
Who doesn't?
Me, I
Me
can't have
tomorrow.
Were you saying something actually about French rolls? Like the rolls for French?
You're going to need library use and French to decipher some of the things that you're going to see. So as you start going through these records.
That's a hard success for me on library use.
Regular
Thank
success
you.
in French. Emily's just going to help. That is all I can do here.
I can spend 4 points of luck to help with the French, but that's all you're getting out of
I mean, you
me
guys
right
have
now.
4 luck advances on the table, so if you want to spend some luck, we'll get it back here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'll spend 4 points so I have at least a normal success for...
There you go. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to
Luck.
use those luck rolls tonight. I actually turned off the luck advance channel point spin because you guys are sitting on so many. I'm like, let's just use the ones we have. Don't waste your points on buying more right now, y'all.
That's fair.
But I'll bring them back. I'm not withholding it. I'll bring them back when you.
Oh,
use what you
sure.
have.
We also have a bucket of rerolls that we probably should be using.
Yeah, y'all. This chat coddles you.
And we
I'm okay
appreciate
with that.
No, I am too. I want you guys to enjoy and survive for a little while longer. So with those successful library use rolls, did people make French rolls as well? Those of you
I
who
guess I
succeeded
did.
on your library use succeed on your French.
Yeah, that's
Or Sean, you can too.
No, that's what I
That-
rolled was French, so I got a
Okay.
regular success on my French.
that's an exceptional success on my French. I'm really French today.
Exceptional. In this game, or in this show, when you have an extreme success in Call of Cthulhu, it's exceptional. Don't ever let anybody tell you you're too extreme.
Yeah.
Baby. So yeah, there are a ton of records in here. And they're not the best as far as they're organized. But you're reading a lot. Like, you just start in about the year that all this stuff went down. And there is a lot of handwritten notes that are very difficult to decipher, but with those successes, you do very well. You do find where he was, or at a point where Comte Fenelic was brought in. And then there's nothing else. You read and you read and you read, and it just says he was brought in. They don't even talk about him dying.
Just me where he was
See?
Can I get a knowledge roll?
Yeah.
Please.
Do I get to apply my quick-witted?
Sure.
Sharp-witted? Okay. Crab cakes.
Exceptional success.
That's a hard success, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Looking at it and looking at the state of the organization and things, you might assume that perhaps he was admitted before proper bookkeeping began. Maybe he just slipped through the cracks. I'll say that you probably, just based on other things that you've learned, you feel like that is probably not the case. So remember, it was officially announced, or it was announced to the people in Poissy at the time, that the Comte was executed for the scandal with Queen Marie. Then you learned through some other diaries, I believe the chief physician under Queen Marie, that he was admitted to here. And now you've come here and you see that he was brought in, and then nothing else. It feels sketchy. Um, as far as the documents go, you continue to search for a while. I will say you spend your 2 hours easily looking for any other mention of things. And
Not even
and-
like when he was moved to his own little cell or whatever that we found out.
Yeah, because he was attacking other patients, right?
Yes, he was, but none of that is in here.
Huh.
As far as these records go, none of that is. Now, yeah, with that knowledge roll, he could have died and they just didn't talk about it, or they just didn't mention any of that stuff. But yeah, all those you got from private journals from other people.
Bricked him up in his own little cellar and totally forgot about him, and that's where they kept the secret buried.
Maybe it's worth looking at some of the journals passed in 1810.
Well, it's also perhaps the administration is keeping records somewhere else for things that were more sensitive.
Are there any
Yeah,
blueprints in these records?
No,
For the
these
asylum?
These are
Okay.
just patient files. If you want to see anything like that, I would recommend talking to the current chief administrator, who is Dr. LaRue. He is the new, what is his title officially? We'll just call him the administrator. He is the lead administrator now after the passing of the previous one, who died recently under tragic circumstances, Dr. Duplass. But Dr. LaRue is available to speak to. You did see his office when she led you to this records room. And
like-
I mean, go ahead.
I feel like if all four of us go speak with the current chief administrator, that it might be overwhelming. Especially with Mr. Haskins' lack of French. I'm concerned that
I speak French, and I rattle off a line in French.
who
I-
doesn't speak?
It's clear.
Cleo.
Which is fine because she's also not great with people. So she
I
would
love
work out.
that. I love that the Germans
The
are like,
Germans.
let's go talk to the Austrians. Let's go talk to the French guy, even though the French have been increasingly hostile once they find out you're German. Let's ignore the
They're actually Austrian, or
American-
you know.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we're
that's-
totally cool. Don't worry about us.
Look, the accent can come from anywhere in that region, you know. Some parts of Normandy, it is very common to have a German accent.
Yeah, right? It's a melting pot, a veritable melting pot.
Because
No.
you're more than welcome to talk to the director, but how well are you going to be able to spin a story for him?
I feel confident in my abilities to convince others of things. And if
Alright.
not, I have tears.
And failing that, we can go to some legal loophole in, you know, some sort of inheritance dispute, and we're trying to find out information about this person for his extended family.
I see you're taking a page out of my book there.
Yeah,
No,
it's
you said
a,
nothing about locksmithing.
it's very
I mean,
practical.
Kelsey-
It's very common right now.
Kelsey has a whole little case full of business cards, being like, I usually only secure belongings, but people.
Here's the business card for, whatever. Nah, not
These
right now.
locks suck. And he put the locksmith's one. He's like, would you like more? I honestly, either way, if only some of you would like to go, that is fine. The nurse, after the 2 hours, she actually does remember because you offered her a bottle of wine. Even if you didn't do it out loud, she assumes you're going to. No, she does come back and she's like, did you find what you're looking for?
Not quite. We found some. They weren't even admission records, right? They were just notes that he was admitted.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't like a profile or anything. It was like, the Comte Finalik was admitted on.
It
X
feels
day.
like we found some notes, and it feels like his file is not here. Would it be possible to speak with the administrator?
Oh, Dr. LaRue? I mean, yeah, that can probably be arranged. Give me 1 second. Let me go speak to his secretary. 1 second. One moment. And she leaves, and after a while, she does come back and she says, "Okay, he is available to speak with. Uh, they might want, it's kind of strange. I mean, he would not have been here when your family was here, but as you are of nobility, he is willing to speak with you to make sure that you are quite cared for."
Of course. There's just a matter we need to clear up. And I'll wait for her to lead us there. I assume that's what
Okay,
she's
yep,
gonna do.
she does. She does, and she takes you to his office. Dr. LaRue, being moved by your title, I went ahead and since you went ahead and dropped that, and it would have worked. No credit rating roll needed. He seems very busy, but interested in trying to make sure that this is okay. You get the impression that the last thing that he wants is any kind of upset. There's still all this stuff going on with the previous director. He's kind of a pinched man. He's got the little glasses that pinch on the bridge of your nose. I can't pronounce what they're called, but he's polite enough. Which one of you is the countess?
I am Countess Johanna Rinaldi Stad. This is my business manager, Emily Brandt. Brandt?
Yes. You got it right.
And then my some of my associates, Mr. Haskins and Miss Dandridge. We are tracking down a distant family member who was sent here. He was a member of the peerage in Germany at the time, a count named Fenelik. His records don't seem to be in the files. There is a note that he was admitted, but nothing more could be found there. I understand that with the things that were going on at the time, perhaps his file was pulled and kept separate. Would that be something you would be aware of?
Honestly, please, he would have offered you a seat, and he's listening, and he's thinking. Give me a psych roll. Anyone who would like. I will accept psychoanalysis.
And he's speaking in French, right?
Yes.
So I'm keeping a no. I was gonna say I'm keeping a whispering commentary with Cleo on what's being said.
That would be an exceptional success.
Ooh, I got a 10. What is that? That is a hard success for me.
I got a regular success.
Okay, fantastic. You all did very well. You get the impression as you start to talk about Kopf Fenelik, number one, the name did not register in his face at all. Like there was no immediate note of recognition. What you do notice instead is a bit of relief that you're asking about something that is apparently not what he thought you were going to ask him about. He is like, well, I don't know. If you hadn't heard, our previous director recently passed. That aside, there's still a lot that I'm kind of going through as far as his records. And you'll remember, as you pass through the secretary's antechamber, there were like boxes, like bankers' boxes and storage boxes of things that look like when you're moving someone out of one office into another office, and there was quite a bit of things out there that you're like, oh, okay, maybe what you're looking for is probably up there, not necessarily in here. But he's like, I don't know the name Fenelik. When would they have been admitted?
It would have been shortly before the revolution.
Oh, well,
It has been some time, but there are
you've...
there are family matters to see to, and we want to make sure that we leave no stone unturned.
And you found nothing in the records?
Only a note that he had been admitted. From some of our prior research, there may have been an intervention by the king at the time, and he was sent here, and then there may have been problems here, but I don't see any of that in the records. There's nothing about him other than a note that he was admitted.
If they were not in the records, I do not have any information regarding that, especially from that time period. It's been long enough. Things are a little mixed up right now. If you can forgive me for being a little lost. I wish I could help you, but
What's
I really
his
don't
general age?
Middle-aged, 40s, early.
I'll look over at Emily, and I want to keep an eye on him just to see if he understands what I'm saying. And in German say, I'm concerned that this dead end will cause further problems. You do much better with paperwork than I do. Do you have any suggestions on where we might look? I just don't want to. I don't want Father to have to come out here. It would be quite angry.
Monsieur, perhaps there is a back room? Something of the older administration, perhaps, that you have not sorted through?
I mean, of course there are, but there is my private wing that, of course, was my predecessor's private wing as well. But most of those personal effects have already been returned to the family. As far as anything else, they would have been boxed up and not in here. Perhaps my secretary can help you if she's available. Was she out there when you came through? And she was not. The nurse led you straight in.
No, unfortunately, she's not. Could he understand what I said in German?
He did, and you could tell that he was following the conversation. But like, and when you mentioned your father coming, he was just kind of like, an eyebrow arched, and perhaps a little perturbed, but again, not.
Yeah.
He's just like, I really don't have anything that I can help you with, and I can. You're welcome to seek to look through the records, and again, if you would like.
Doctor, let me ask you a separate question. Maybe this will help us understand a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Were someone to be admitted and became violent with the other people here?
Yes.
Are there specific rooms that you would put those patients in to keep them from harming others?
I mean, things like that happen quite a bit, unfortunately. We do have some private rooms that are constructed in such a way to keep the patients who are a danger to others and themselves. They're designed to keep them safe. But I mean, some of those really weren't in existence. Some of those are newer constructs. At that time, it's... Yes?
Francis, Paris itself is quite old, and obviously this institution has been here for centuries.
1610, this building was constructed. It's
perhaps
it's quite...
a basement or something The inference was that he was thrown in a hole.
Give me another psych roll. I need psych rolls. Somebody
Hey, I got a hard success.
analyze the psychologist.
Hard success as well.
Fantastic. Mentioning the basement, his face hardens a little bit. Of course, there is basement facilities. They are not where we keep patients. I don't appreciate the implication that we would put patients in the basement, even if they were a danger to other people. We would not keep them.
Please, it may have been a poor translation on our part. We are merely curious and out of any other sources of information.
Honestly, and we're not implying that you are doing that now. We're trying to find what happened, 200 years ago, or 180 years ago.
Care for patients like yours has changed and grown quite a bit in the last 130 years. I wouldn't expect anything like that to have ever happened here now.
More a curiosity of if the basement had at one point been its own wing or been used for something like that, as opposed to throwing someone in a basement.
Okay. Forgive me. There was a recent incident, but to my knowledge, as far as our practice goes, we do not use the basement for any of that, nor am I aware that it was ever used for anything like that. There was an incident which you have obviously, I feel, heard of and are aware of, and if you are here to get access to the place to feed the Aruma mill and as like a bunch of scandal mongers, I don't have time for this anymore. I believe I have helped you as much as I said I could, and this is all I have for you.
Monsieur,
Are we aware of anything?
You are not, but he is.
Please misunderstand. We are recent arrivals, and as we said, we are on family business. We have no attachments to the Parisian rumor mill, as you would say. We are simply looking to tie up some loose ends.
A countess has no ties to the rumor mill. Sure.
I've spent the last several years in London, and prior to that, I was locked in Austria while Germans made poor choices and attacked your country.
Oh yes. Oui.
My father regrets that he even had to be part of such things as part of the Austrian Empire, and I haven't seen Paris because that guilt comes to me as well. I'm gonna use charm. Can I use charm?
Okay, yeah. Charm, persuade, whatever you want to do.
So I'm gonna use that re-roll that I've got.
Go do it. Cleo, give me an idea roll just for shits and
Just
giggles.
for shits.
That's a hard success.
Okay. With that hard success on that charm roll, he softens a little bit. You do still see there is pink in his cheeks where something has upset him in this line of conversation, and you're not entirely sure what. But clearly he is on edge about something. And but he has calmed down. You are charming him well. Cleo,
Hard success.
Hard success? Because this conversation continues to kind of just be in French, and yes, you're getting the commentary, you're getting a little bored. This is not what you like to do. So...
And where's the ghosts?
Yeah, where's the creepy shit, god damn it?
This is an asylum.
So, I'm going to say you get a prickle, and you decide to kind of, you're like, you look at Kelsey and you just tell him you're going to step out for a second, and you step out into the antechamber
God, I'm that white
Uh,
person. I'll be right back in the creepy asylum. I'll go off on my own.
Yeah. just into the antechamber. You're a mere 20 feet away.
Sure.
Um,
Oh yeah, well that's what they all say.
and then so you go out there and you again see the boxes that I mentioned. You see stacks of boxes that actually have the former administrator's name on them. Del Place this, Del Place that, all this stuff, and patient records, personal. It's all in French, but you do recognize the name, and you did hear the name before. And right now, the secretary is still not in there. So, I'll let you decide if you want to do anything out here while the others argue with this very upset Frenchman who doesn't really understand why you're here, doesn't think he can help you, but you won't leave this office. So,
she'll kind of peek into them. She'll kind of not go fully out into the hallway, but like peek out and see if she can see anywhere where the secretary was, and then kind of go back to the boxes.
Sure. While we go back to the Countess, go ahead and give me a spot hidden while you're out there. Give me the name of your family, and I will see if I can find anything. As I said, I do not have the records here. They are not in my files, but I can see if I can access anything that you cannot. But it was that long ago, I would think that anything that we have would have been where you looked.
The name was Fenelic. He was a count.
Fenelic. That is a very strange name. Even for a German.
I agree.
Do you have spelling?
Yeah, I'd give him the spelling because we've seen it like 1,000 times, right?
1,000 times. You've seen it like 6 different ways too. There was Fenelic with a P. There was some other one that had like 18 extra letters at the end. It's like, what was this man's name? But never a first name, just a last name.
I will give him all of the spellings. Unfortunately,
all of these were his name?
No, unfortunately it's all Fenelic, but in the records that we have read, they have been spelled different ways. I believe it's a translation from German to French that's causing part of the problem.
And by all accounts, he was quite the eccentric man, so...
That is quite true.
Oh, really?
Well, why else would he be here, right?
Yes, his eccentricities went farther than they should have.
Okay. Well, I will do what I can and get back with you, but truly, I do have other work to be about right now. Don't mind meeting with you. I would like to clear this up. Whatever it is that you're looking for, I'm not entirely sure yet. Are you looking for, like, record of his death, or...
Anything. A record of his death would prove that he's no longer alive, and that can settle some of the family matters. But
when was the last time that you knew a 150-year-old Frenchman or German man or any man to still be alive, especially in an asylum? I mean,
Leo's in the other room, like, even though she can't understand it, she's like, well.
I don't disagree with you, Doctor. However, there are no records. So without
the peerage is so strange. The things that they must have proof of to.
Well, and it's also the law for estates. Inheritance. That's the word. Thank you.
Like the American pops in with the French word.
American.
That's what you're getting at, I think, Countess. But yeah. Okay, cool. So he said, and Dr. LaRue is like, I will do what I can. It's strange to me that there were no death records of him in the records that you saw. Surely he wasn't.
There wasn't a record at all. There wasn't even a write-up on him.
It is possible he passed after 1810. We only had records previous to that.
I will do what I can. I can at least access the records past 1810 and see if there was anything, but based on the time you said he was admitted, that would have been quite a long time, and at any point, sorry, out of character, I let go of my push to talk to go out of character like a dumbass. At any point, did you mention that you had record that he was hurting people?
Yeah, because we talked about him being... Yeah, I did mention that.
Okay. That's right. You did ask about someone who is a danger to others. I cannot imagine that someone who is that violently ill. I mean, stranger things have happened, and people worse off have been cured. But I mean, this. I'll look, and I'll let you know. Where can I get a hold of you? Where
I'll
can
give
I
him
contact you?
contact information of my cousin's estate or the
Of
family's.
Norbert's estate. Okay.
Yeah, and Doctor, your assistance is a very. We couldn't do this without you. It's very important, and if there's anything that we can do to help, please don't hesitate to contact us. I have means at my disposal to make sure that this is as smooth as possible.
Okay. He stands and he says, I appreciate that. If I find anything, even if I don't, I will make sure to let you know, so that you can rest assured that we have done everything that we can to assist you in this matter. But I must really bid you farewell.
Well, Doctor, one more moment of your time. So we don't step on any toes. Apparently, we're not aware of what's going on here. What is going on that you're so worried about? If we're talking to other people, I mean, we don't want to be, aggravating them like we did to you unintentionally, because we have no idea what's going on.
There was fast talk, something. Fast talk, persuade, charm. What you got,
close my
Kelsey?
sheet. Hold on.
What? Why did you do
One
that?
of those things you have.
I mean,
You
I've got
fool.
charm is my strongest. I mean, I'm being very
that works.
sincere about.
Oh, I know you are, but he has no interest in telling you anything else about. Like, he has already spoken too much. He's already said too much.
I mean, you
And-
do have a certain charm with older ladies. Maybe the
try that.
secretaries might be more forthcoming.
Ooh. All right. If
He
she's
takes his
there.
glasses off and he shakes his non-existent hair. Yes. American.
Well, if there's something I can do to help ease your concerns, then I would be more than happy to.
Oh my god. Oh, with you. What's
Let me put on the candles and some smooth jazz.
Betos.
This is wonderful.
We hear from the other room, Betos.
Betos.
So, what'd you get on your charm roll?
Oh! I thought we were
Did you
saying
roll
that.
it?
No, I thought you said I wasn't going to be able to because he didn't want to give me.
No. I
information.
want you to roll
Okay.
for it. You are going to have to charm him.
Ooh, a 2. That's an extreme success.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he says, it is not something that we are. There was just an incident with a patient that was found in the basement that we were unaware of. It doesn't matter. It's been handled. It is over and done with. But we had some of the workers, loose lips, and release some information that was not theirs to release. And
understand
it's
that.
just, it's not as though, and you would know from reading the paper, nothing about this has been mentioned, at least while you've been in Paris. So you're not sure if it's not recent enough or if he doesn't mean that it was like announced to a paper. But you get the impression that somebody said something out of turn to somebody who didn't need to know it, and there had been some concern over hospital administration. Why was a patient in the basement? Is it easy for patients to get into the basement? Like, did they just wander down there and nobody knew they were gone? That kind of stuff. That's the impression that you get, that there's just been people have been saying things, and he is not only dealing with taking over after the previous administrator, he's also not dealing with this kind of scandal within the hospital.
So writing that extreme success and still being very charming, I'm going to feign like shock and be like, the former director. You said the former director died. It wasn't him, was it?
That a patient found in the basement was the no.
Well,
No, not
you
the former.
said-
No,
well,
the
you
former
said that
director
the-
was not the patient.
But you said he was dead, though. You said he died under mysterious circumstances earlier.
That is, I said tragic, accidental circumstances.
Tragic, mysterious.
Please, good day, if you will. And he kind of like, and ushers you three out to the door, to the antechamber, and he shuts the door behind him. He assumes his secretary will take care of you. You look around, the secretary is still, she's out, who knows where she is.
Cleo's looking in boxes.
You see her name, you can't read a fucking thing, but yeah, you're looking through boxes.
What is there anything on her desk, on the secretary's desk?
A nameplate that says, basically says Madame Ronya. I can't, that name is a hard one to say. Names are hard, man. Like, why? No. But yeah, there's like an appointment book, an ashtray, her purse is not there. There's a jacket. You assume she has left for an appointment or lunch or something, but
can I
yeah,
the pages in her appointment book real quick without drawing too much attention?
Sure. He can't see you. He shut his door.
Yeah.
He assumes his sturdy secretary is going to boot y'all out, and she ain't there.
I'll look.
And Cleo's just like buried up to her ears in papers that she can't read.
I'll look.
She's like a kid in a ball pit. Sure.
I'll look real quick to see what's there.
Yeah.
If there's anything.
Spotted.
Well,
you gotta roll, man. I just couldn't tell you.
Well, he's doing that. I'm gonna walk over to Cleo and ask her, "What are you looking for?"
I don't know. Anything.
Can you read any of it?
Well, I was hoping maybe I'd find something about Fenelic. Something sort of that looked like that name.
What'd you get on that date book?
I spent 6 luck to get a success.
In the date book, you see, it's been it's been literally like maybe a week, and you flip back and you see LaRue moving into office.
Okay.
So you at least get the impression that this switch has happened very recently, within a few days. Very little, move Del Plaza's things to set up courier for storage, all this stuff. She's got it's appointments with other family members, board members, things like that. Nothing too telling, except that and before LaRue moves into the office, it's the former administrator's information.
What does he have a name?
He does. Del Place. Dr. Del Place. Delplace.
And we're left alone?
Yeah, he assumes his secretary's out there. He did not look. He wanted you out of his office. He pushed you out, shut the door, and left you alone. Go ahead, just because I know you're going to want to see things. I need everybody to give me spot hiddens, please.
A 2.
Oh, what did you get on? Okay, what did you get on your spot hidden?
A hard success.
Okay, yeah. So you do. Come on, Kelsey. You got that. Got that
hard
bonus.
success.
I don't think you can't beat that 2 though.
No, I got a hard success.
Yeah, Emily hones in. She immediately sees. Look, there's this book that has this year's written on it, and it looks like a private diary, and it is. It is like a agenda essentially for E. Del Place for 1923, and you see it written on like blue chipboard cover, and it's right there. What else did everybody else get on those spot hiddens?
I got a
hard
success.
success.
All right.
I got hard.
Somebody give me a listen roll too. You all see this book. Everybody who rolled successes, you're like, oh, look, this is definitely all of his shit. And the ones of you that can read French are also like, oh yeah, this is his. It's not his personal effects, but it's definitely like his journals documenting his day-to-day in the asylum.
Regular success.
Except for success.
Okay. You do hear footsteps approaching the door. Your dice are working for you tonight? Did you swap them out?
I did. It's my rainbow dice this time.
I was like, are those little prides? Nice. And they're working well for you. Very nice. We
Tonight,
want some
yes.
somewhere. Tonight is not always.
They'll always betray you.
Yeah.
That's why you have to have at least 300 of them.
That's exactly right. 300 pride dice or 300 dice and shit. Does it matter?
Yeah, really, does it? Why not both?
It's 600 dice.
Well, if nobody else is gonna do it, Emily's gonna swipe the notebook.
Okay.
Hey, I was told not to take things that don't belong to me, so.
Eh, they'll bring it back.
That is true. There was an entire thing about consulting the others before touching other people's belongings.
There's something coming. We should... Well, we pretend like we're waiting for the secretary to show us the way out.
Well, and the secretary walks in the door. She's got a jaunty little cap, but she is a bulky woman of about 5 foot tall, kind of like a little square. And she comes in and she is stern-faced, and she sees you and she says, "Excuse me? Can I help you?"
We were told to wait for you. To see us
For me?
out.
By whom?
The doctor.
The doctor told you to wait here for me to show you out.
He said that you
And
would
she
show
kind
us
of
out.
she looks at the door to the hallway, and she's like, "Well, here's the door." she says, "What are I assume the boxes are still open?" Like,
Well, it
Or, like-
depends. It depends on the timing of when
Okay.
Emily told us she heard footsteps. Because if she was like, "Someone's coming," Cleo would have put the
Okay.
lids back on the
And
boxes.
then nonchalantly leaned on the boxes.
yeah,
Just missed it.
I will allow that. I will allow that to happen. And yeah, well, okay. When did? But you've spoken to Dr. LaRue already, and he has asked you to leave?
Yes.
He's
Okay.
following up some things for us, but, he is a busy person, and, his time's valuable.
You can see, like, as she looks, like, across the four of you, because all four of you have spoken to her at this point, and she's just like, okay.
Perhaps something was lost in translation. We should go.
Yeah, I think you should. And she's like, please, this is the way out. And she makes as if to, like, show you the way out. And she stalks forward out into the hallway, and then she goes, and I'm sure you can find your way to the exit from here.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Thank you quite a bunch.
Quite a bunch. Thank you, quite a bunch.
I'm mad as
You're welcome. You're welcome,
mad
quite a
brain
bunch.
talky
No.
bad.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
It's
there.
a translation issue. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
Exactly. So yeah, you. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as soon as she shuts the door, I'm gonna look at our group and is like, so is there any interest in checking the basement out?
Yeah, Cleo, are you, I don't know, feeling anything?
Am I?
Give me. Do you want to do a medium roll, or do you just want to investigate the prickle that I said you got earlier?
I can't imagine how terrifying it would be to do a medium roll in a freaking asylum that is centuries old.
Right?
Yeah.
But she will.
She did it in the catacombs.
Yeah,
That's
she
true.
will.
That's
Which was
It's kind of her. It's kind of her
Yeah.
whole deal,
If you're
This
not
is
going
her
to do it
sti-
when it's spicy, why do it at all?
right?
right.
She's a bit of a one-trick pony with this. So
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a that. Also, the rest of you give me idea rolls, please.
I was going to say, we don't think it was, by any chance, Fenelic was who they found down there.
that is an
I
extreme
mean, that would be
success.
very vile, but...
No, but I am curious to know if that
Sorry.
person that they found in the basement was skinless or not.
I'm concerned that the comp has left a residence here of some sort.
Just Iron Maidens in the basement, or whatever it was that we found.
The Nuremberg versions.
Yeah.
That's it.
Why
Iron
is
Maidens,
that
but
the
kinky.
Why is that the one phrase
Kinky
that I
maidens.
remember from this module? No matter
I'm
what
not
anybody
judging
else
you.
asks you. You are. I can see your face, Matthew. Shut up. No. But okay, so for the medium role, you kind of are reaching out, and you are surrounded, like you are immediately bombarded with just like
Yeah.
turmoil, like the sense of turmoil. Like there are some that it's blissful. Like there are areas where you can, as you, I assume you all are kind of walking through, um, on your way out or deeper in. This is a huge facility, by the way, absolutely huge. Based on all the upheaval and everything around, and I'll tell you guys this for your idea rolls, which I assume you all said you got successes on, right?
No, I didn't.
I did.
Okay, well, those of you who did, you get the, like I said, there is enough, there is enough going on here that you kind of think that you could probably just move around unnoticed a little bit because people are. This is already a tough job, so any kind of nurses, orderlies, any kind of staff, they're already dealing with the pressures of being uh, working in an active asylum and trying to care for hundreds of patients. Then you also have the upheaval of the switching of the directors, perhaps this incident that has gone on. You find all kinds of people around, like there are disaffected workers that are just kind of like discontent and want to, might be willing to talk. Um, there are even patients. You're kept away from most of the patients, but every now and again there is someone that you can walk around. With your medium role, the energies that you are getting from this place are oppressive in a lot of ways, but also, like I said, there is some that's kind of blissful. Um, there are others that are kind of, you're getting a whole spectrum of emotion
Loud.
in here. It's very loud. Almost louder than the catacombs.
Mhm.
And the only reason that you think that might be is because there's living energy here, whereas in the catacombs it was all deceased. So you're kind of overwhelmed at the moment. And yeah, and the you do get a sense of fear in some ways, but you pick up as you're walking through, as you pass by a couple of the orderlies, that is where you think the fear is coming from, not even from patients. So, but yes, again with the idea roll, you think you might be able to talk to some of the people because nobody's really paying attention to you. You are like Madame, whatever her name was, I can't remember now. She was like bye, and she she shut the door and left. She was like, get out of my freaking office, weirdos.
So there are orderlies around that could be disaffected.
Yeah, like I mean, you see the like especially as you walk out. If you walk out of the building, in which you can, there are other wings and things like that. If you go out of the building, you see people like smoking cigarettes out front. And you can see them talking in hushed tones, and you could overhear that they're upset about their working conditions. They're upset about the patients. They're upset about. You see some people with bruises and marks on their faces. You see. You hear people griping about LaRue and the changes he's trying to make, and you hear some people talking about, oh, did you hear about this? But then it kind of trails off when they realize that someone's trying to listen.
Is there? I'm gonna look for the least evil-looking orderly. I just assume that all 1923 asylums have very mean orderlies, except for that, the few that aren't. Is there one that looks relatively nice? And I'm looking for a gentleman specifically.
Give me a psychology roll to find that person.
Yeah, that's a success.
All right. You start to quickly, like, you've already been able to discern the people who are like least loyal to their employer. Most are unwilling to talk, but you do find one who is a younger man, probably a little older than you, maybe late 20s, early 30s. He's a little round-faced, a little pudgy of build, very furtive, very kind of shy, doesn't really want to talk. You catch him kind of looking at you out of the side of his eye, and he does have like scratches on his face. which I'm going to say you noticed pretty quickly, and you're saying, well, depending on where that came from, he might be willing to talk a little bit.
And he's smoking?
He's actually just sitting on a bench outside, like eating his lunch.
I will approach him by myself as best I can. Just I'll quietly say, "Give me a moment," to the group, and I will head over and kind of sit down next to him. Say,
"Okay.
Do you have a cigarette?"
No. I'm sorry. I do not smoke.
No, that's okay.
It's really bad for you.
It's a nasty habit. Yes. My name is Johanna. What is your name?
My name, Paul. My name is Paul. He quickly shoves the food away, and
such a strong biblical name. I appreciate that. Paul, I'm concerned.
Okay. Yes.
Not that it's happening. Not that it's here, but one of my uncles was unfortunately had to be admitted back in Austria, and the conditions here just seems like the workers are overwhelmed. Am I reading that correctly?
He kind of looks around. And if you follow his eye, he looks at other groups of orderlies and perhaps other staff members, and he says, I mean, yes, but I can't. Can we talk about that later? What? I don't understand why you're sitting here with me right now. Johanna?
Well, Paul, you looked like you might have a cigarette. I would ask, be polite, and have a chat, and perhaps learn more about an institution like this. I'm worried about my uncle.
He's here?
No, he's in a different facility, but I have a feeling it's very similar. I got no news that he had been sent there, and I'm just concerned.
I mean, I'd be happy to talk about the pressures of working in an institution such as this one, but my lunch break is almost over. If you're thinking about sending him here, it's a fine institution. It's just,
Paul, if you want to ask me to dinner, you're welcome
to. His face goes so red so fast, and he's like,
Perhaps there's a bistro nearby.
I just ate, but...
No, later tonight, when you're away from work, obviously.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. That would... Yes, please. Yes. That sounds fine. So, I'm going to go back to work. Yeah. Yes. Okay. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He's very confused. And he's very struck by this entire conversation. And he's
Paul,
like...
Perhaps we should make a plan on where to go?
Sure. Well, there's a really nice cafe not far from here on the way to the rail station that sometimes I stop at on my way home.
That sounds
if you want
fantastic.
to meet there.
What time do you usually pass by there?
6:30?
I will be there right at 6:30.
Okay. Alone?
I may have to bring my governess with me. She worries.
You have a governess?
I motion over towards Emily. She's quite protective, but I'm sure that there's nothing she has to worry
Emily, do you just look normal, or are you like giving a stern look at this young man?
Isn't
Just-
Emily giving a stern look normal? I mean,
I
Probably.
feel like her resting face is very much
Sure.
terrifying to most. And it's just she's just there. She's probably making light conversation with the others about.
Sure. Okay.
So if we were to sneak into the basement, how would we go about it,
How
Mr.
would we go
Haskins?
about this? Sure. Paul nods. He's like, okay. Are all of those friends of yours?
2 of them are in my employ.
Oh, okay. No. You know, and he's kind of like calming down a little bit. Like he doesn't really understand what's going on at all, or why you happen to sit with him and ask him such a question. And so, but he's starting to kind of just like assume that maybe you thought he was cute and you wanted him to ask you out, and so you brought this random shit to his bench. But it's just
That's a solid assumption, Paul.
so and Paul's like, okay, I'll 6:30 then, and I mean your friends are okay.
Oh, I'm sure
They
that
seem nice.
they'll be
I
busy,
guess.
but if not, it sounds like a nice place to eat. Maybe they'll be there, but not with us.
It really is. They have really nice wine. They don't have really nice wine, by the way. It's a pretty low-end bistro, but he really likes the wine that they have.
It's affordable.
It is. It is. But yeah, and he blushes again, and he's like, "Well, it was lovely meeting you, Johanna." And he takes himself back to the building, and he keeps looking back, and he's
I
like,
lightly hold out my hand as though I'm waiting for him to like kiss it.
he shakes your fingers. He's like,
Yes.
and he's
Yes.
like, okay, and
I like that
he
you're-
runs off.
I like that you're channeling me directly into Paul. Like that's perfect.
Great, Matt. How does it feel to date yourself? No, but
Terrible.
it's
Just terrible.
the worst. No.
So as soon as Paul walks off and is out of earshot, I'm gonna look at the Countess and say, "Did you happen to ask what he does here? You just may have made a date with a janitor, who has no information."
He was dressed all in the white shirt and the white slack. He looked like an orderly, I will say.
Mr. Haskins, I would almost guarantee you that the janitor that works here sees more than you would ever believe.
Honestly,
I
they're
don't-
probably the most informed in the entire building.
I don't disagree, but as far as information about Count Fenelek, though,
I'm more concerned with what happened in the basement and hoping that will lead us to. I'm on a ghost binge now that we've run into some friends in the catacombs, and if Fenelek was as disturbed as he seems to have been, I feel like there's a good chance he left a residence here, and that might have had something to do with someone in the basement.
I disagree.
You said Cleo is specifically feeling fear come off some of the orderlies?
You feel it hardcore off of Mr.
Off
Paul.
of the orderlies?
Yeah,
Off of Mr.
like-
Paul?
Yeah. So you were feeling it the whole time. As Paul passes you all, because he has to walk past a group of you to get back to the building, you feel a very worried, fearful air off of him. You get that tinge of, this pretty girl just asked me out on a date. This is the best day of my life. But also, shit, I hate this job.
So this is
and-
awful. Is there another one around us outside that seems to be emanating a particular amount of fear?
Yeah, one of the men smoking cigarette near the door seems also to. He's kind of like. They just seem like they're glancing around, almost like they're paranoid, like they
Yeah.
are worried, like they're constantly looking behind themselves.
This may completely blow up in my face, especially with where we are.
Okay.
But she's gonna go up to him, and she has like a cigarette case. Oh, I have a cigarette case as a wallet, but it's across the room. I was gonna take it out,
That's
but
fine.
she takes it out and she looks at him and she's gonna play up her woo woo a little bit, and
Okay.
say to him, "What are you afraid of?"
pulls a cigarette out of his mouth, and he's like, "Excuse me." And he does speak English. You're lucky. He did.
I know she's like, I'm gonna try it. We're gonna see. And she says, "Your aura. What are you afraid of?"
Oh, well, he kind of, and you know, he's gonna kind of give you the once over, and he's like, I'm not afraid of anything. Are you afraid of something?
Many things.
Are you looking for someone to help you with that?
No, I sensed fear coming off of you. I sense it coming off of a lot of people here, and I was curious.
Have you seen this place? The things that we see here are pretty frightening sometimes.
Like what?
Like patients that can't control themselves and attack you. There have been some that have gotten, you know, out of their rooms after hours. Hell, it's not even just the patients. I mean, sometimes other staff. It's a dark place. I don't recommend this trade. If you could work anywhere else but an asylum, I would work anywhere else but an asylum. And he looks like a pretty strong, strapping dude. He's one of the big kind of like overgrown guys that probably works here as more enforcer and or restraint than necessarily for his medical expertise. My aura, like
your energy. Everyone has an energy.
Like, do you do seances and shit?
I can, yes.
I went to a seance once. Interesting. I mean, there's some. It's just a lot of shit. There's been some weird stuff happening lately. I don't know what. It's a big old building filled with unsettling, disturbed people. I mean, it's sad, but it can get. There was a thing. Do you have any of the persuasion fast talk?
I think I have. I do. I have persuade.
There you go.
Actually, not terrible at it either. Yeah, that's a hard success. It's a 30.
Oh wow. Okay. I mean, I don't know. There was some stuff that happened. We had one of our coworker of mine got hurt real bad. Went a little weird.
Weird how?
Weird like lives here now. Weird. It's just, you know.
Is that common? Does that happen to a lot of you?
Not that I've ever heard of. It was I mean, that guy was kind of an asshole. Bully. Probably deserved it, but we heard things. He worked night shift. It wasn't somebody that I had to deal with very often, but yeah, he wasn't good to staff or to patients.
Do strange things happen more commonly at night here, or is it any time of day?
I mean, any time of day. What's your name?
Cleo.
Cleo. I'm Jim.
Hi, Jim. Nice to meet you.
I mean, at night, I've never had to work night shift. I've heard some stories. I mean, that happened to be when it happened this last time. I mean, that time, I don't know if it happened before then. I don't think it happened before then.
Is she?
He kind of pauses
I almost
for a
said
second.
I almost said sense motive, but that's not technically.
Okay. I mean, you can do another like psychoanalysis roll.
Sure. Yeah, that's a 13. That is an extreme success.
He's kind of also like, hey, you're cute. Let's talk more somewhere else.
Double date.
Yeah, the young girls are just out here getting these asylum orderlies to take them to dinner.
He's like, oh boy, I
No.
don't really have these feelings about people, but if I have to for information, I might play it up.
That's right. That's right. And when he says, "Well, it happened the night this last time," he seems like he pauses for a second, and you get the impression that he's like, "Has it ever happened before?" Like the way his own words gave him pause. Like, has this happened before? And we just didn't know
Yeah,
about?
but
Like,
it doesn't
you can
seem like
see
he's
that unsettled.
actively trying to be like, oh shit, I
No.
said something I shouldn't have said.
No, you get the impression that he really literally fucking doesn't care. He's like,
Mhm.
and it like if you mention LaRue, he's like, oh fuck that guy. He just covers his own ass. I've been on some.
Oh, so you're all kind of displeased with was his predecessor better than he is?
I mean, he was more genial, but this guy, I don't know. You know, some of the treatments they do, it doesn't sit well with me, and I've had to sit in on a couple of them. Hold people, you know. I'm kind of strong. It's a thing, and so when they have, when they have, that's right. Yeah, free tickets to the gun show, everybody. No, he's like, he kind of
Cleo's like, oh,
posts up a
Yeah.
little bit. No, and he's like, sometimes if you have like, he's not being a douche about it. He's just
Yeah.
like, I'm asked to go into some of the rooms where they do some of the therapies if people are
You're the
unruly.
muscle.
They can't. Yeah. This is, I mean, shit. And he kind of looks around and he's like, if I had to like give it a description, I'd feel like a mob enforcer, but it pays better, I think. And it's not illegal.
Fair.
He's not sure how that feels. Like, you get the impression that he doesn't like what he has to do sometimes, but it's work. But,
yeah, and she kind of looks off and looks back at him and is like, well, we all do what we have to do sometimes.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're not from around here, clearly. Are you in town
No,
for a while?
American. In town for
Yeah, I picked up.
work.
Work. What is it? What do you do for work? Do you seance for work? Like,
Well,
are you a traveling?
sometimes. To some people, I think what I do might grant me a one-way ticket to a place like this, but
No, you don't. You're not anything like the people I've met in here.
no, they
I mean,
they
that
vibrate. They vibrate on a different wavelength.
Sure.
He's like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
But you're cute, so
My break, exactly. My break's almost over, but you know, if you'd like to get together later. Or
Oh
something.
well, my friends and I are gonna be down at a bistro nearby around.
He looks over.
6:15.
Like if you motion to the other group, he's like, "Oh, they're with you."
Yeah.
And, so we could all go to the bistro together.
Yeah. She's like, yeah,
Sure,
it'd be great.
Like
Not picking up what he's putting down. She's like, uh-huh.
we could just go together. It'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be great. She's like just like in the catacombs, like, ooh. Just
Yeah.
doesn't-
Yeah. Jim is like, well, you know, maybe I'll see you there. Yeah, maybe I'll see you there. My break's almost over, and my cigarette burned out like 3 minutes ago. So
No. Mysterious. I like it.
It was wonderful, Cleo. Cleo, it was wonderful talking to you.
Nice to meet you,
Cleo.
Muscle Jim.
He kind of likes that. He's like, yeah, that's a nice ring to it.
I'm gonna make everybody call him Muscle Jim now.
Muscle Jim. My name is Muscle Jim. I'm putting it on all my shirts. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, he leaves you there. I don't know why the two of you, Matt, this is the second week in a row, people are making me have to flirt with you guys to get information that from people that are kind of like, I don't know, we just work here, but okay, you're cute. But yeah, so that's, you guys have a date at 6:30 with at least Paul at the local bistro where they serve affordable, decent wine. Is there anything you'd like to do while you wait? It's probably about 3 to 4 hours.
We're going to the basement. Like
right now?
Yeah, I want to sneak into the basement for sure.
Okay. Well,
That's what Kelsey and I'm assuming Emily have been talking about. It's like, so how would we go about it? What would, in your professional opinion, how would you go about this?
You mean as a locksmith?
Well, of course.
Of course. There's building like this. I mean, there's going to be multiple points of entry.
It's an older building, yeah. There's usually at least one secret passage. They like to build them like that.
With as much turmoil that's going on, I think we're going to be able to slip in very easy. Maybe we can find a closet, get some lab coats, blend in a little bit more.
I think it would be very hard for us to blend in. Some of us are far more distinctive than others, but you have a knack for slipping into places. I will keep a lookout if you want to try closets.
Yeah? That works.
Okay.
I cannot believe I'm doing this, but in this case, that guy was kind of a dick, so fuck the French.
Ooh, LaRue? Can you stop?
Come on, Miss Brandt. This can't be the first time you've been the lookout for less than...
No, it is the first time.
Insight check now.
She's like, no, seriously, I've never been bad before, ever in my life.
I mean,
no.
if you don't count what the French are saying about us, then yes, I've never been bad in my entire life.
There you go. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you give me. We're gonna kind of do a retro spot hidden roll. Mm-hmm. To say that you were looking for perhaps other offshoots and hallways and doors and things where you might have been able to access the basement.
Having half an ear to all the flirting going on and date making, that's exactly what I was actively
Kelsey's
doing.
like, oh my god, I hate these children. It's like having daughters.
Feels like I wasn't even flirting. I was just having a cigarette.
Yeah, no,
That's a regular success.
Okay. Well, with that regular success, I will tell you what you saw after we come back from break, because it is break time, and I think there's pizza in my house, and I need to go say goodbye to pizza.
No, pizza for everybody. What the heck?
Hearing Rue.
I mean,
enough for the class.
You guys want to come over? I've invited all of you to my house more than once, so it's up
real
to
awkward.
Okay, give me like 4 hours.
Oh my god, if you could get here in 4 hours. That's a hell of a drive. I would like to be able to travel.
Flight.
Oh, like I don't drive. That's for the servants.
That's for the poor. No, I'm turning into your Hana now.
Yeah. 10 minutes. No, it's just your other character. It's your Tuesday night character. That's 10 minutes. We'll be back. I will have eaten, and we will find out if you can get into the basement of the Carrington Cemetery.
Oh, we're getting in.
Asylum.
Cemetery. Whoa, this is south.
Was that a slip?
I feel okay.
Bye,
most
guys.
asylums. Yeah.
10 minutes. We'll be back. I mean, if the internet had to learn about how I met my husband, it's not the end of the world. I mean, hi, everybody.
Hello. Welcome back.
Quick, everybody look at the camera all at the same time.
Thumbnail mode. Okay, so
Relationship
I guess
advice from us to you.
yeah.
Make
I'm
it
pretty sure
awkward.
that the dating site John and I met on doesn't exist anymore, so it's okay.
Well,
But we met on it. Amanda and David met on it. It's just it's all in the family.
my wife and I met on MySpace, so I definitely know that site's not up and running anymore.
Is it not? Did it finally go away? Because it still was up.
It
not that long
lingers.
ago.
Someone needs to pull the plug. It lingers.
Lingers. It lingers. MySpace? What's that? I was just reading an article about MySpace features we don't miss, and it was really strange. And it reminded me that MySpace asked you your body type. Does anybody remember that?
Nope.
The options were like skinny, athletic. Man, what was I know the one that I chose. It wasn't any of those. I think it was More to Love was the one that I chose. But I don't remember there was a fourth one.
Instead of
God.
MySpace, I spent my time on LiveJournal.
Yeah, I was a live journal girl.
Okay, now LiveJournal
LJ.
was before MySpace though, technically.
Yeah, and it was better.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying I didn't do any of the social medias. I found a LiveJournal one time, saw the word mean for the first time, mispronounced it for years after that because I was just like, I'm not in with this shit. I don't know. I'm not cool. What do you do on LiveJournal? I asked my friend, and she's like, I write things. And I'm like, what kinds of things do you write? And she's like, you don't want to know. And I was like,
Fan fiction, Roxy, you would have fit in real well.
it was
Or
anime
role-playing.
fan fiction.
Yeah.
It was anime fan fiction. I knew nothing about it. And I was like, my little Jesus brain was like, no, I don't know what this is. What are you writing? It wasn't until I was older and yeah, then I wrote fan fiction. And
Anyway,
it's still out
cat
there.
butt.
That's cat butt is always welcome. Yeah, I was having a discussion with my best friend the other day about how somewhere out there is fan fiction, and there is a very easy way to find all of my fan fiction that I'm not going to tell you about.
It's a challenge.
Because I was a fucking idiot. So, but yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out how I can contact the administrator of that site and be like, hey, I got rid of that email a long time ago, but that's me, and I can prove it if you just let me. So I can get on there and take off some ill-placed information that I thought, I guess, belonged on there. I don't fucking know. Anyway.
Sounds like you're like SSN. I mean,
It's not.
This is an
Good answer.
important
It's
lesson
not.
about internet security, everyone.
I like where David's
That-
coming from. David says if you guys cheer enough bits, he will tell you exactly how to find it.
that is money well spent.
That is money well spent. I'll tell you where. No, I won't. If you pay me directly. I will just PayPal me. I don't know. Pay for my dinner. I'm easy. Buy me a pizza. I'll tell you where to find my fan fiction.
Cheap wine, a pizza.
Actually, I can go cheaper.
All 7 accounts of it.
I'll just DoorDash you a Blizzard.
DoorDash me a cherry limeade, Sean, and I will give you my social security number.
Again,
I said I
internet security, very important.
not on camera. Okay? Sorry. Guys, so for the first half, I was unmedicated, and I realized that at the break, so we're good now. Good now.
Dying. Okay, let's
I don't know
go.
about we, but yeah, you are.
Anyway, so you're going to the basement. With that wonderful roll that you rolled, which was a success, right?
Yeah, just regular.
With that, okay, regular success is all you needed. I'm going to say that, yeah, you happened to notice that there was like a sign that kind of pointed out where certain like storage areas were, and you hear some orderlies mentioning, hey, go put that in the cellar, down with the other things, blah, blah, blah. And it's like extra gurneys and stuff like that. And yeah. Are you going to look for a disguise, or are you just going to try to go there? And are all of you going there?
We were trying to find a disguise or some sort of closet for
Not-
orderlies.
Not super complicated. We just lab
Yeah.
coats to throw on over what we're wearing to blend
Lab
in just a
coats.
little bit more.
Okay.
I'm
You're all
assuming they
dressed
had
fairly
lab coats.
nicely anyway, right?
Yeah, we're dressed far too nicely for this, but maybe they've got
Well,
scrubs
I
or
mean,
something.
the hospital administrator is dressed very nicely too. You see people wearing very nice clothes, whether they work there or they're visiting or whatever. So you aren't standing out so much as you just kind of are a motley crew of 4 people sticking together. Usually you don't get like groups
Yeah.
taking a day trip to the asylum, unless it's like a family that looks obviously like a family with like kids or something, but it gets weird, you know? That's the only reason why. But you've been able to kind of move around undetected thus far.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
But yeah, you do find like a jacket you could put on, or maybe a place to stash. If you have like a jacket that you're wearing and you want to take it off and look a little bit less updone, then you could potentially stash some stuff somewhere. But yeah, I'll say that you can find a lab coat or an orderly shirt or something to denote that you might be an employee of this asylum. And yeah, you find, and all 4 of you are going. I need clarification. I didn't know if it was just Kelsey and Emily or if it's
No, we're all 4
all
going.
4 of you. Okay, so with the 4 of you going, I will say that I am going to want, just for giggles, is there a stealth roll in this game?
There is. Are any
There.
of us besides Kelsey good at it? Probably not.
That's okay.
That's why I was
okay.
very content to be the lookout, but here we go. We are going to suffer now.
Okay. Well, that's
I'm
not
a
critical failure.
benevolent. I'm a benevolent god. I promise.
That's a hard success for me.
I'm going to use 2 points of luck to make mine a success.
You know
and
what?
a
And
check
give me a
mark.
luck advance.
Oh,
Ooh.
Ooh!
like a
Well,
regular
that's-
lucky advance?
Yeah.
No, just roll a d10
Oh,
or a d6.
D6.
D6 to your luck.
Okay. Hey, I got back most
5.
of what I spent. Hooray!
All right. So, you all did well.
I failed.
Cleo. Oh, Cleo,
I
did you
failed.
fail? Kelsey and Emily are successful.
Hard success.
Okay.
Just a regular success here.
Kelsey and Emily pass fine. They're on their way and they're like, come on. You both see Cleo and Johanna happen to pass by Paul and Jim at different times, and they're like, oh, and seem a little concerned, but they gotta, like, Jim's like, and Jim leans over to Paul and he's just like, you see that cute American? She's totally into me, like,
Oh, my
and Paul is like, do you, the other one, the prettier one, she asked me out.
Boys.
and yeah, and Jim's like, no, fuck you, shut up, and then they go back to work. but yeah, so you guys get seen, but it's by people who don't care that you're there. They're like, oh, they're just way into us, and look at them, like, hanging out at our work, which is totally weird.
Like, why are they here?
But yeah, nobody important sees you. You guys make it. You go through a door. You find some stairs that lead down, and the stairs that you find are these old stone steps. Some of them have been reinforced up on the higher levels, but as you get lower and underground, it definitely starts to show some more of its age. The underground area is very, kind of creepy. It's not. It's a lot more old stone, old brick, bricked up alcoves. You find some storage and stuff down here, but it's not being used for the most part, and it's a huge basement area. But it's only the forepart near the stairs where you find other, like, implements of the asylum where they might be storing things.
And
The
there's,
rest is,
I mean,
go
we
ahead.
have lights. I mean, there's like electric
You do
lights
have
down here.
lights.
Okay.
yeah, there are electric lights down here, but it has a very unfinished feel, almost cryptic. Cryptic? No, it's almost crypt-like. Like, the ground is not really finished. It's bricks, but so it's not bad, but there are places where like the bricks have kind of worn away and there's dirt, and it's a very ucky kind of feeling. Like it feels uckier in here than the catacombs did.
Leo's
Because
like
this is-
turning, her medium is like up to 11.
Crank it up. No. Yeah, it feels more icky than the catacombs did, mostly because this is not a place that is normally open to the public. This is just an old part of a very old building. And this part of the building definitely shows its 300 and some years of age. With your medium, go ahead and give me that medium roll. Where's the prickle tickle? Give me the medium roll.
Where's the prickle tickle? That is a hard success.
Hashtag prickle tickle. That's
That's real close to something very different.
Oh, I know. A League of Their Own is one of my favorite movies. John Lovett says it. Anyway, yeah. So you like, again, you're still feeling a lot of the energies from the other parts of the building that you've been in before. I'll say that because you've been kind of remaining plugged in to some degree, you are gaining discipline and kind of filtering some of that out, and focusing more. Like you were able to kind of pick up from Jim and Paul that there was stuff coming from them specifically, so you weren't their energies weren't so drowned out that you couldn't pinpoint those individuals. Down here, it is a little better. There is far more emotional upheaval down here. There's some stuff that you are quite certain has occurred here that would require a content warning.
Ooh, yeah. She's like, ooh.
You get senses of not just fear, but specifically fear of being chased, hunted. You get, you also pick up on energies of the pursuer and the hunter and the thrill of the hunt. You pick up on a lot of real dark, real unsettling abuse that occurred within these walls, and not that long ago. You know what? Give me a sanity roll.
Okay.
Is Cleo clearly doing her medium thing again?
Yeah, probably. It's not something that she's like, I'm doing it, but she gets super focused and kind of inside of herself. That's a 10, so that's a success.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and ping you for 1. Because it's kind of shocking. Because you did not feel any of that to that degree upstairs.
Yeah.
This is very.
Does it feel
in this context, but fresh? It's very fresh.
Does it feel? I don't know if she's going to be able to figure this out, but it's like, does it feel human? Does it feel demonic? Does it feel?
No, it absolutely feels human.
Okay.
Are the other three of us getting the impression of kind of like heaviness down here? Not necessarily the depth and the scope of what she's feeling, but just the general like.
I'm not sure where the three of you or all of you are on like emotional things and like residual energies and things like that, as far as like what you believe or if what you've experienced. But if you've ever been in a house where like there's a lot of negative energy, even when like people that are the source of that negative energy aren't there, the house retains some of that feeling. Some of it could just be due to experience in the house with something, but you know, I've been in places where it's like I feel like this house has seen shit and I can feel it. Like
so kind of like the lighthouse when our characters were there.
Yes, that something has happened here, and I can't put my finger on it, but I don't like the way it makes me feel. and you're down in this basement, and you don't know if it's due to, because you're not getting any of this that Cleo is. The rest of you are mostly just experiencing it from a sense of, this is a terrible area. It's old, and who knows what happened down here, and it's dank and musty, and I really hate doing spot hidden on this. They need a scent-based roll down here. Give me just an intelligence roll.
Can I use my sharp-witted for that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Extreme success.
Regular success.
Fantastic.
Hard success.
So, I mean, down here you smell all kinds of things. Mildew, mold, water, standing water, stagnant water, earth, upturned earth. You smell, those are the main ones. As you move through, if you are progressing further into this cellar area, you'll start to, you think you pick up maybe the scent of urine. Not as old as you think it'd be. You do like stagnant vermin urine, but fresher places. Anybody who got an extreme success on that is picking up the coppery scent of blood, and potentially a lot of it. It is a place that nobody would want to really spend a lot of time.
Leave
It
it to the
smells
French.
worse. It smells worse here than it did in Guillaume's crypt, where he was. If that's any kind of indication.
Well, he was a mindful ghoul. The French have just perfected torture over the hundreds of years.
Yeah,
Would it be feasible for us to have brought flashlights, or is that not something that we could?
There is light down here, but I will say, give me, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I just had a thought. Yeah, in a purse somewhere, somebody stashed a flashlight.
Because even if the lights, like, there's going to be dark corners, and we're going to want to look in rooms that
Just get your cell phone out, Johanna. Christ.
I mean, Cleo very rarely goes anywhere without her supplies, which she keeps in like flasks and, like bags and stuff on her belt and stuff like that. So it's like she mostly has most of what she owns.
I'm sure Kelsey's
on her
got
person.
a flashlight hidden somewhere in his
No,
socks.
I don't. Kelsey's extremely comfortable in the dark, and he just has good sight. I mean, it doesn't bother him. I mean, it doesn't seem that dim and dank down here as far as lighting goes to Kelsey.
Okay.
I
was...
So,
go ahead.
So there are hallways kind of down here?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of feel like tunnels. But they're like arched brickways, and if you don't pay attention, I'm going to say you get the impression that if you don't pay attention to where you're going, you could get lost. Not to say that you would get like trapped down here or anything like that. It would just take you a minute to get your bearings because everything looks the same. It's just, go on. Yes.
Do any of the tunnels, the ground looks like it has been disturbed recently? Like, is there a clear path in a direction that people have gone recently?
Is there a tracking room?
There is a track. There is a track that I'm not any good at, but I'll roll it.
Does anybody else want to try? I will open it up for anybody.
Where's the tracking at?
It's
alphabetical.
Yeah. No,
no, that's a negative.
I learned that.
I'm actually trained in that. Let's try it.
That's a 63, so no.
It is a hard success.
There you go.
Oh my God. Okay.
She needs to track down those people to murder them. We're good.
Yeah, So Emily, that's you? That got the hard success?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you start to look around. You use a cane, right? So you're like poking stuff with your cane. You do, as you're walking around, you start to see, there's kind of like, it's kind of hard to describe, but you definitely are seeing impressions of maybe a frequent circuit being made. You see some footprints. It was a hard success, so you see, like, surprisingly easily, you feel that you see, like, the impression of a footprint, like maybe a man's shoe, size 12. You see that a lot as you guys are going around. And you find areas where, I'm not going to say that the ground is upturned. Like I said, there are parts where the brick is kind of worn away and almost to dust and earth, but you find areas where, like, you see a fingernail stuck in the brick in the floor. You find other areas where there are scratch marks. You find, again, stuff that implies that there were things happening here fairly recently. Like, give me a spot hidden. Just Emily on this one, unless she says something.
It's a extreme success, or whatever we're calling it these days. Exceptional success.
Allah, you're exceptional. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. The fingernail is pretty fresh. Like, the blood is congealed, but it doesn't seem that old. And you don't have to make any sanity checks for any of this shit because you were in the war. Yeah, you see stuff. You see trails of blood. It's a pretty gruesome place, but you can find some areas. It doesn't make a lot of sense though. It's not like, oh, they walked here and did a thing. It's, oh, they went over here, there was a thing here. Oh, and it looks like people kind of were running through here.
Is it usually the same like shoe size that we see? Like,
you see that man, that size 12 men's shoe frequently. Anything else is just kind of like impressions that there might have been a struggle. I need a spot hidden from everybody at this point. What is that face?
No.
Okay, these rainbow dice are rolling really well today.
Okay.
It's another exceptional.
Yay! Okay.
Regular success.
Okay, fantastic. Johanna?
Oh, no.
No? Okay.
No.
As you are all, again, I'm assuming you're all walking around, but carefully. As you're walking around, exceptional success sees some brick debris up ahead, down a ways. Proceeding to the brick debris, you kind of see this trail, and you can definitely see at this point, you see a like, you even see like wheel lines maybe for a gurney that was down here. As you go, you start to smell, or the smell of the coppery metallic scent that you were picking up on the air is getting increasingly stronger. And you see trails of it now starting to, it's smaller as you approach, and it gets bigger. And you find an area where you go down a little bit, you round a corner, go down a little bit. There is one of the bricked alcoves has been broken in, and there's just brick and mortar debris everywhere. And the stink of this room is just, it's pretty bad, but it kind of just smells like death, right? It's not like, you don't smell body fluids except for blood. You don't smell any kind of like human waste or anything like that. It's all just dry, dusty, dank. Well, not dry. It's dank, mildewy, old, upturned earth, busted brick, and a lot of fucking blood. In fact, as you get closer, you can see if you look inside the alcove that has been opened up, there is a massive, it looks like a gout of blood just staining the brick, and that they did not do any, like, it doesn't look like any effort was made to clean up.
I try to
Whatever.
warn mostly Johanna that maybe to avert her gaze. This,
All right.
of course.
You looked
Well,
at it anyway?
don't say I didn't warn you.
Go ahead and give me a sanity check. Since she looks.
No look, no touch.
Success. Yeah, I'm good.
You know, we call you the babysitter, but I feel like you're getting really bad at it. You have no control over these children.
It's true.
They just stop listening after a certain age, and all you can do is take away their allowance and hope for the best.
I'm sorry, what?
Governess and title only. Govern nothing.
It's really
Why
to keep
was
her
it-
from making bad decisions with, as she is young and inclined to romance, but
Anybody who looks at the blood and like the sheer amount of it, I mean, it is like a 80s schlock flick. It's a lot.
So you can't.
is it fresh-ish?
It feel like
Is it, like, if you touch it, is it coagulated at that point? Like,
it's coagulated, but it's not like dried. Like the room is dank enough that it's really not drying out.
But
But it
not
is
from, like,
very. It's not like
from
yesterday.
1510.
it might be, like, a week.
No. This is recent.
Because this might be the incidents that they were talking about.
Can you not? So you can't look into the room and like try to look past the blood. I mean, it's just like it's everywhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's arterial spray everywhere. it's like
a
CSI.
Dexter crime scene, sort of.
Yeah,
Alright,
and
so I guess I
nobody
gotta-
hung the plastic. Yeah, if you look in, see the
Made it.
blood. If you fail your sanity roll, if you see the blood, I'm just gonna take a D6 or a D3. If you succeeded, you're fine. You guys have seen worse than a lot of blood.
But I'm turning slightly green.
Okay.
Greener in the gills.
Sure. But yeah, you can. And so, is anybody going in the room?
I think Emily will have in order to inspect the blood.
Okay, cool. So go ahead and give me another spot hidden now that you're in the room.
It's 5.
Okay. No, getting, like, even with the blood and with your tracking roll earlier and things like that, just based on your skills, you are able to discern, you can kind of see that it does look like maybe somebody was kept in here. Like, it's weird. It's like you get the impression of like a body laying down. Like, you're like Aragorn in that scene in The Lord of the Rings where he's like, 2 hobbits laid here. And all you see is like grass. Except you're like, somebody was laid here. And the blood is kind of broken in a certain shape around that area. Like, maybe when the blood, was issuing forth, something was keeping it from hitting this area. You can't make a distinct shape out of it, but it's large enough to perhaps have been a person or a large item.
I wish we had invested in a camera of some sort. This would have been delightful as blackmail material.
Professor Smith had so many cameras you could have gotten from him, but you guys didn't invite him to dinner.
But his house burned down. They all burned down.
Let us buy a camera on our way out.
I like that. I like that Rue is bitter on his behalf.
No, I don't care. I would have had to do this actually a lot, and I would have had to like walrus Brimley way too much, and I don't think I could do that.
I would say at this point, Johanna has a knife in hand. Like, I'm not.
This is the bleeding room.
Something. No, I mean, like, something cut.
Who's
like,
next?
There's something alive down here, or there was,
Okay.
And I don't want to be caught unaware.
With all those exceptional successes, Emily, you do actually locate. You see something in the corner, and you go and look, and it is a very bloody man's size 12 work shoe.
Picks it up with a handkerchief. Well, I feel like I know what went down here to some extent, although curious who this belonged to. Perhaps your gentleman friends might know.
Could be Jim's
So we
shoe.
found this shoe at your job?
Well, I feel like they can flirt a little better than that.
Do you recognize this shoe?
Flop
Tell
it down
me,
at the
Jim.
table?
Tell me, Jim, do you recognize this shoe? Oh my god.
You know this
There
shoe?
is no foot in the shoe. I will say that. I should have explained. It's an
I mean,
empty shoe.
listen.
It's just a bloody shoe.
Would we
go ahead.
get any idea from the blood? I mean, obviously someone was killed here, but the way the blood is, was someone's skin down here? Can we tell that at all?
No.
I don't know
No.
if we would be able to do that, yeah.
I would say also, I'm going to go ahead. Give me a knowledge roll, Kelsey.
Everybody?
I mean, if you want.
I mean, idea roll, you mean? Right? Idea?
No, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Regular success.
Hard success.
Again, distinct lack of human waste smell. You actually don't think somebody died down here. There is no sign of bowel release.
There's a particular smell that comes with death.
It just smells old and bloody. And if anyone who steps in the room, I will advise you to watch your shoes, because when you go upstairs, you will have blood on your shoes for sure.
So this is an alcove? Like it was a room that got
Blocked up, yeah.
bricked up?
Mhm. There are several. By the way, there are several of those. Like you look around, the alcove. If you were to imagine this brick was not disturbed, you'd be like, that looks like every fucking alcove on this hallway.
I'm gonna walk to the closest one and just push at the brick. Not hard, just enough to see if it gives at all.
It does not.
Okay, good.
Go ahead and give me a listen check. Anyone who wants to.
Oh, I actually got a success. Woohoo!
Ooh, a hard success.
Chicago.
Regular success.
Regular success.
You just hear yourselves. Don't hear anything else.
You're a monster.
I assumed you'd want to know.
I'm going to turn to Cleo. Chloe.
Cleo.
Oh,
Cleo.
Cleo, you
Got
were
it
right.
right
You were
first
right.
time.
Turn to Miss
More
Dandridge.
confidence.
I totally did that in chat earlier, so, you know,
Yeah.
it's easy.
Cleo, was this done by something human? Do you think? Can you tell?
The energy down here is distinctly human. It's very hunter-hunted kind of a feel, but it's not animalistic and it's not demonic. It is distinctly human.
Does that mean that it was alive when it did it, or could it have been some sort of manifestation of...
Give me, so with your medium roll earlier.
I assumed it was distinctly human based on what you said earlier.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
I'm gonna say, if you show the shoe to the others, Emily, Cleo, you get a massive prickle tickle off the shoe. Guys, you gotta lighten it up a little bit, okay?
Prickle tickle.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, like the
Whoa,
feeling
that shoe. Muscle Jim?
No, no, it's not a prickle that he has for you. No,
No, that is a
I'm
pickle
so
tickle,
sorry.
and we will not discuss it further.
No, not here. This is a safer work show. So off the shoe, that feeling that you're getting about the predator, we'll call it the predator, whoever the pursuer of what was going on down here, strong energy around that item, to the point
Hunter
that you're
shoe.
pretty confident, that is the hunter's shoe. And it's one of those things where you got a really good roll on that medium roll, right? It was like was it a hard success? We don't remember
Yes.
now. It's fine.
It was
I'm
hard
gonna
or
treat it.
extreme. It was good. I think.
Okay.
I mean, it's one of the two and it tracks.
Yeah,
Remembers.
it's fine. It was a good roll. It was good for everybody, and off that you get that feeling of greed, and that thrill of the hunt, and then a sharp stabbing fear and pain, lots of pain, and a descent into madness. Like, this room is pogging off on your sensors. You are once again overwhelmed, and there is also a sense of
she actually physically takes a step back. She hasn't even gone in because it's like wham.
And one thing that you have noticed, you do notice that there's no sense of the prey here.
Yeah.
In the tunnels is one thing.
Did the hunted become the hunter?
But inside this, you feel hunger and thirst and so very tired.
Okay. She shares with the group.
So we're not dealing with a cult? I mean, Kelsey's confirmed this is the cult.
Something dark happened here. Perhaps one of the patients wanted some revenge. I would understand. Of course, the conditions here leave much to be decided.
Or the doctor was experimenting and something got out of control?
I'm curious what size the previous orderly of this place, doctor.
We're hey, do you have his shoe size?
Do you no approximate shoe size? Yeah, no big deal. Just curious.
Yeah.
I bet we could find that in his effects.
Perhaps. Maybe. His shoe size. My name's Dr. Del Plas, and I wear a size 9 1/2.
Well, it could be one of those situations where Dr. Del Plas was like, hey, remember to order shoes, size 12, brown leather.
It happened again. I lost my shoe.
The shoe. I actually do have a question about the shoe specifically.
Shoes.
Is it like a dress shoe? Or
Shoes.
like a...
It's
like
a work shoe.
Okay.
It's a shoe that go ahead and give me one of those int rolls. Give me those big old tree rolls. Give me an int roll. An intelligence roll, please.
Yeah, that is a regular success.
That shoe radiates orderly Jim energy. Like, not that it was his shoe, but that he wore shoes just like it. Like, maybe this
I bet it
hospital
was.
buys the shoes for their orderlies. And maybe they all wear the same kind of shoe. Also around here, it's an orderly shoe. No chaos. Yeah.
No chaos.
They, never. Hold the phone.
I don't know. That looks like a lot of chaos back there.
Yeah, shit went down, y'all. These walls have seen things. As you look at the ground, you do see they're out here, Emily, especially with all of your exceptional rolls and your tracking skills. You see lots of feet prints, lots of commotion. Like, whatever happened, people discovered it and had to bring things out of here. So and that remember, you did see like wheel prints from like gurneys, shit like that. This is something happened and something was taken from here.
And I think we can paint a mental picture of something happened to one of these orderlies down here. Somebody found him later, brought a gurney to pull him out, where he presumably died, or is in a hospital somewhere.
I think back to like 10 minutes ago when we were looking for the door down here and we could hear chatter and conversation about, oh, somebody take this gurney to the basement, or what have you. And it's like, was there, in those interactions, was it like, oh, fuck, I don't want to go down there? Or like fear, or like, I really don't want to go down there. Okay.
Absolutely. They were like, no.
And
They're like, this gurney can
like,
stay.
Like they are practicing. It's like those TikToks of the guys who return carts and they just like send it flying and it careens into like where it goes. You get the impression that they're practicing. I'm just gonna send that gurney down and hope for the best.
And Cleo, when you were talking to Jim, I overheard him say that a friend of his is in the hospital here.
Yeah, one of his old co-workers.
Could
But
that be
committed, it sounded like, not...
That was committed.
Well, if I just kind of gesture at all of this. I mean, if was involved with what was going on here.
And you said that you felt a descent into madness, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do we think that the old admin is actually dead? Or that they had to commit him?
I think it was an orderly. I think the old admin died of an accident. I don't know what that accident was. And this still doesn't get us closer to Finlick.
But perhaps we'll look around the area in case there's anything else.
I like when you say that I tap my dagger or my knife on the wall. These are all bricked up. If he was put into one of these rooms, we're not going to be able to find which one.
Are there any old files or anything down here that we can see? Or is it just like old equipment and shit?
It was old equipment,
Okay.
mostly.
Just checking.
No files down here. You're pretty sure if files were kept down here, they would have mildewed and become kind of like there's places where there's standing water, like seeping in through the walls.
There aren't any markings or anything on these brick alcoves. Just like if somebody were to make a little note of maybe who was in there for.
Here lies the rat bastard Finlick. No.
Yeah,
There
something maybe not quite to
something
that
like-
extent, but like a number or a letter.
Finlick was here.
Some casual graffiti.
You like pull a brick out of one and you look in and there's a bunch of little hash marks. And it's like
he scrawled across one of the walls.
dick art.
How I miss shining down upon my parties.
Yeah. My lovely parties where
I miss my
they loved
parties.
me. I miss my peeps.
Countess, when we were in London, we went to the newspaper. What was that name again?
Of the newspaper?
Yeah, he was the one that I know who it is. Character I'm talking about.
Scoop?
Yeah, Cass.
The
Do you think there might be something similar here in Paris? They may be able to provide us more information.
Almost certainly.
It's very possible. That's an interesting.
I fucking hate you, Sean.
The scoop but in French.
Les scoop.
Les rumeurs.
Let's keep. Oh.
Or it doesn't have to be that. We could just go to a newspaper and see if
You do whatever you want to do. You do whatever you want to do. I was just flipping off my life.
I have a really weird idea.
Okay.
So Cleo is still in her medium space. Can she recall the laugh that she heard coming from that weird sketch?
Yes, you can.
And she, with herself open, try to mimic the laugh and see if anything comes of it?
Sure.
Ooh, I
As you
like that idea a lot.
as you reach out and you remember the sketch and you kind of tap in to the Finlick, you're reaching distinctly for anything associated with Count Finlick.
Oh, quick question. Does Kelsey have that sketch with him?
No, we left that. I'm not carrying around a hot, ripped off painting.
I don't know. That was like a calling card in a
He's
Mac
like, I
tube or
stole
something.
this!
Look at me!
Ah,
I stole from the Louvre.
It's his little trophy. Had to keep it.
I wasn't curious if he kept it on him as like.
No,
Hang it
that's a
on the
good
wall
question.
in here.
No, that's a good question because in the last campaign we carried around a giant-sized painting of
We did.
mountains
That
of
made us
madness
all
for
go
a
crazy
long
every
time.
time we looked at it, and we're like, we're just gonna keep this in our little map case, tote it around. Would Kelsey have it?
No,
Legitimately.
no,
Okay.
no.
Because remember, this one was much smaller. It was like a 12x19. You could have rolled it up, put it in a little.
Yeah, but
That's
no.
why I ask, just in
Yeah,
case.
no,
No,
it's
we're
a good
good.
Might have
question.
been
but yeah.
helpful.
I'm gonna say, as you're reaching out, Cleo, and you are thinking over the information that you've learned, you're trying to kind of filter through this just din that you're experiencing in here and that you're hearing. And yeah, you think about the laugh that you heard. You think about some of the journals that you read about. You remember the one of Louis Melon that referred to he didn't describe much, but well, yeah, I think he said like they were running like rabbits or some shit like that. So, you know, some of the debaucherous and the
People
activities
fucked.
that are... Yes. I was just saying.
If she wants an image,
That's
to
right.
focus on,
They didn't
for
just fuck, they freaky fucked.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And-
and apparently
Right.
procreated. I don't know.
and if you want to focus on the image, I sketched into Cleo's journal a rendition of that
Oh.
painting.
Yeah, we have
That is
it. We have
right.
like
So
the
we do have a
rendition.
visual.
So you get out all your little totems, and you're
Drama.
like, okay. And but yeah, you think about and you realize how, as far as proper society looked at it and chose to record it, it was like an abomination and debauchery and evil and all this stuff. You kind of keep all of that in mind, and you're thinking about that, and you're thinking about the sketch, and you think about the laugh that you heard, and something strange starts to make a little bit of a connection for you in here. You can't really put your finger on it, but you do think whatever transpired in this room might have something to do with what you're looking for.
there is a connection, but I can't. It's like that feeling when something's on the tip of your tongue and you can't get it.
So I know that seances are normally fake, but if we were to attempt to summon the spirit of Fenelek, do you think that that's something you could do?
Mm-hmm.
I do not think this is a good idea, especially not here.
And how dangerous? How dangerous would that be to you? Because I don't know that it's worth the risk.
That sounds very dangerous, and I don't know much about this.
I'm not suggesting we do it. I'm saying this would be the place that, if he died here, this would be the place that he would be stuck, right?
Based on the trauma that he experienced here, or that we think he experienced here,
Or maybe he's not
it's
dead.
likely.
Maybe he isn't dead, but that's a whole other issue. And
That's another problem entirely.
I don't want to think about that issue. If he did die here and he still is here spiritually, he could have influenced, and I'll just motion broadly to that room.
Gesturing vaguely.
Yeah.
I think it would be worthwhile to speak to the orderly that was, I suppose, who is now permanent residents of this place.
That is someone that I may be able to actually speak with, like, no matter how coherent or incoherent they are, I may be able to penetrate that layer.
So it looks like the brick was punched in, right?
Yeah, it looks like somebody kind of like punched in, but almost like somebody kind of like dug at it, and like it was all brick. Like you could probably, like Johanna could literally like stab at some of the mortar in some of these places and probably loosen some bricks. But yeah, something happened. It looks like somebody busted in there. There's some on the outside, especially because they were moving things out of it, as I said, with like the gurneys and things. But yeah, there is a lot of brick on the inside like it went in. Nothing looks like, I will say, it doesn't look like, the brick that's on the inside, it doesn't look like tools were used really. It's just like knocked in. It's like blunt force. It doesn't show any tool markings of like a pickaxe or a mattock or something like that trying to break into a sealed vault.
Well, if we want to talk to the orderly that's now in residence, well, then we need to get you guys ready for your dates, because I don't think we're going to find the name very easy, except from Jim.
That's my suggestion. Well, okay, let us presume, for example, that this Count Fennelik is not quite man. Perhaps he is something else. There are creatures of legend that could survive for extended amounts of time. What if he was sealed in here and forgotten about until some orderly decided to lean his body against the wall, perhaps, and it broke, and he became lunch?
This might be a dumb move on my part, but did anybody ever look at that book you swiped?
I wasn't gonna do it here, because
Okay.
it's a good way to ruin a book, but I feel like while the girls are dating... Yeah.
Girls are dating.
While the girls are dating, the adults can read over a book.
And look for clues.
For a
As
second,
if
I was
Cleo isn't like an adult.
How old is
Or
Cleo?
Johanna.
I don't know.
Johanna.
She's like late 20s, early 30s.
No,
I
you
think I
guys are
have her.
children.
Oh, 33. I have her as like 33.
I literally thought you were in your 20s, so that's my bad.
She's in her Jesus year.
It's just, it's just Johanna that's the baby.
Yeah.
I've never heard it called that. I'm never gonna forget.
Oh,
that.
you haven't?
Only because of
Awesome.
that. I grew up around too many church people. It feels almost wrong. Yeah, I would say you guys have probably been down here for a hot minute, like an hour and a half, digging around, looking for stuff, smelling blood and gross stuff, and having bad feelings. So you are probably going to want to, if you're going to get ready for your date, if you want to change clothes, check your shoes for blood, that kind of thing, or just go wait at the bistro.
Real quick before we go,
Sure.
Johanna's gonna call out Fennelik. Hey, listen, it was worth a try. You never know.
Go ahead and give me a listen roll.
Nope.
And Cleo give a
heard
supernatural
nothing.
listen.
Sure.
What is that, just
Sure.
medium?
Yeah, go ahead, and we're gonna give me a medium roll, and then give me a large roll, and then average.
And then an average roll.
And a biggie roll.
Yeah,
Probably not.
can I
That's
get a
just that's a
supersize roll?
regular. That's a regular success. Probably won't.
When the Countess says, Fennelik, all you hear, if you hear anything at all, maybe you heard a
Okay, well,
But-
I maybe heard a breath, but we're also all breathing, so.
Kelsey could have farted. Just saying, you don't know. You don't know which.
Emily could have just been sighing.
Emily, I can't believe you just did that. You.
Fennelik.
Yeah.
I heard something.
Exactly what happened.
So you make your way out of the tunnels.
Before we start
Oh,
going to
there's
the more
more.
populated area, no, this is just me being dorky, Kelsey.
No, that's fine.
I'm checking everybody's shoes to make sure we're not going to start tracking a bunch of blood and dirt and stuff.
Smart,
back through the
smart.
halls.
Yeah, anybody who stepped in that room definitely has blood.
It's.
We will be
I
leaving.
think it was just Emily, so she will take care to
Okay.
wipe it up.
Did you bring?
It'd be one of those kind of discreet. You've got blood all over your shoes.
Yeah, it's not the first time,
We don't want to track it back up through the hallways, though.
of course.
What are they going to do about it?
They're welcome to try.
As she carries out the size 12 shoe that's covered in blood.
No, I think we're just gonna keep the shoe there. There's
You
no
gonna
point.
leave it? We can
I don't
come
want
back
to.
for
I
it
don't want
later.
to put it in our sandwich basket.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah, you guys have your field trip basket. I
Always.
forgot that's a thing. Because captains need their
They
juice
need their
box.
juice boxes.
Juice box, goldfish, celery sticks, just because.
Some brie, some little small wine bottles. You just pop
It's on
a
a
straw on the
log.
top. Yeah. So okay, give me stealth rolls to exit the entrance to the
Oh,
basement.
God. Oh,
Oh, hey, look at that.
Regular success.
You know, if you guys want to spend some luck on some stuff, if you do fail, you do have another luck advance I can give you.
I rolled exactly a 20. I'm very excited about that.
I'm going to spend some luck to not fail.
I have a regular success.
Fantastic.
enough.
Fantastic. All
Check
right,
your
yeah, you
boxes.
guys are good. You guys slip out. Nobody really pays attention to you. You hear some more people being like, "Oh, Charles in room 7. Somebody go."
Not
And
Charles.
he's crying again, and they leave him out. No, there's
He's not in charge.
commotion happening, but you feel like it's just they're going about their business. You make your way out, and you're just like, "Hi," and you leave. The nurse at the front desk is like, have a good day.
Hi, weirdos.
We'll send her some vine. The others not so much.
We are definitely not going out the front door. We were out the same side door we came in on. Because she would.
I mean, you could.
Yeah.
You all passed your stealth rolls. Technically, you did get a reroll, Emily.
It's true, but it was close enough that it was worth spending.
Hold on to it. Hold on.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna need it.
To it. Okay. So you guys leave. Do you go back to the manor, or do you just kick around? Kick sticks in Paris. Until it's time to go to
how do we smell? Like, honestly, how is the must? Like, has it gotten in our clothes?
No.
If you must ask.
If you must ask, yes. No. No. You're fine.
Okay.
The air is cold. It's killing any scents that might be on you.
Okay. Yeah. Then
Until you're sitting in front of the fire at the bistro, and all of a sudden it starts.
And Muscle Jim's like, you smell familiar. Dank.
You smell like my old shoes.
I knew it.
No.
I think we just
I'm
kick
just
around and
kidding.
go to the bistro. Like,
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, Cleo definitely needs a very large cup of coffee because she is drained. She's like, I am tired.
Okay. I will pose a question to you all. We have about 15 minutes left. Do you want to start this conversation with Paul Guimard or Paul Mandrin and Jim, if Jim shows up now, or wait
Must
until
be
next
Jim.
week, or go a little late to finish the conversation?
I have dinner cooking upstairs, so going a little late seems disadvantaged to me.
You're the only one.
That's fair.
Well,
But
no, I was gonna say my family just got home from all day at dance. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we can start it and we can get a little information to prep you guys for next week if that's what you want to do, or we can stop
Mhm.
here.
Well, could we also read the journal in the meantime?
That's a good
could
thing.
There we go.
You
Let's
could
read the
read the
journal.
journal.
Solid.
We can
Read the
save the
journal.
awkward flirting for next week. Like, really stretch it out.
And we also come up with the French name for the scoop.
Le scoop.
Less.
Les fuck you. I'm sorry. Is that not the magazine you were looking for? Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look at the believe what was the word I asked you to pronounce earlier, Ala? It's that. That's what it is.
Événement?
That's the one. 1923. E. Del Place. Guys, she speaks French. Why am I even trying?
You're doing great. It's fine.
I am. Where is it? Piss. There it is. Okay, yeah. So you get this wonderful handout, which I will be giving to you after the show in the handouts folder. I guess I could drop it right now. We got a second. You all gather around a fire there. I guess there's a fire at this bistro. Sean mentioned one. And you're hanging out. You're ordering some wine. You discover that the wine is not nearly as good as Paul intimated, but it is acceptable.
I mean, Cleo probably thinks it's great. She's like,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is the best
you're
one I've ever had.
Haha! It's like Boone's Farm, and you're like, oh, I forgot we had this journal, and you whip it out there at the thing, and you lay it out, and you start flipping through it. It is early in 1923, so there's not a lot in here. It's a very brief journal. 1 second, sorry, I'm trying to move this over. And because I'm holding my push to talk button on my mouse and my buttons are kind of icky. Let's see. Ooh,
Should pull up my...
did I give you guys? Did I give you guys number 4? What was number 4?
That one that we missed.
No, I think you got all the handouts, I think. Oh well, just a second, y'all. I'm gonna move 5, and then when I figure out what what 4 was, I'll give you that one. Well, that's very useful, Anna. Thank you. I still think calling it "fuck you" is fine.
I mean, that would be very French, but
Is it though? I thought we just blamed the French for cuss words. Let's see. Next. All right, Parasol 5 is in your handouts folder in a minute once it updates. Let me just read this to you. So there's some excerpts in there that might be of interest to you. One entry says, starts this way. A dismaying event last night. A male nurse, one Guimard of 4th Ward, entered the cellars without authorization and there, after suffering a painful wound to his right arm, collapsed. Another nurse, P. Mandrin, investigated Guimard's absence and after some time discovered Guimard on the floor in severe shock. Treatment was prompt and efficacious, but upon regaining consciousness this morning, Guimard began raving to me about being attacked by a dead man. For the moment, I have placed him in room 13 and notified his landlady of his indisposition. Alas, with Guimard was another man, and one unknown to this institution and in tragic physical condition. Many grave questions must be answered. Another entry states, I began to question Guimard about the stranger. Is he a patient? What is his name? How long had Guimard kept him down there? Had Guimard kept the stranger there for a long time? Long enough that the mortar sealing the room had cured to such condition? Had he given him nourishment? How had he survived? I am moving the stranger to my private wing for the moment, treating the man as an inconsequential derelict until more evidence is found. Another entry. Even in a fresh bed, the stranger's appearance is horrifying. Given small amounts of broth, he merely regurgitates it. He takes no nourishment, yet lives in a catatonic state. Would electroshock revive him? Next entry. After several applications, the stranger woke, but so weakened that he could not move. He whined and begged in different and very old forms of Greek and Latin, tales of cities crumbling and of other darker things. What a mystery, man. It is almost easier to think that we have tapped some form of group mind or racial memory. There's a few other inconsequential notations, but the journal ends. All the entries quoted are dated just before Delplace's death. And again, they were just earlier this year. It is only January 17th. This is his 1923 journal. But yes.
Okay. So,
well, sounds like he's here after all.
So yeah, it's very concerning that yes, there was an orderly that was down in the cellars without authorization that was found essentially maimed, a horrible wound to his right arm. Another nurse found him, whose initial was P. Mandrin. Found him there in severe shock. He claims he was attacked by a dead man. There was another person found with him in the room, not a dead man, that was moved at some point to Delplace's private wing in the hospital, and then given electroshock therapy. And that's the gist of what you found.
This P. Mandarin wouldn't be the one you're going on a date with tonight, would it be?
What would the odds be?
What are the odds of
That
that?
P,
P?
that P stands for Paul. That's strange. Whatever.
Could be Pierre. You don't know.
Sounds
Peter.
totally safe.
The good news, Cleo, is looks like you're off the hook for your date. We know the name of the.
God, my camera.
Oh
Oh no! Ooh,
no!
Fiddlick, he's gotten her.
the spirits are angry.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we looked up and the camera's just like, peace, y'all.
Oh no. Oh no.
The good
yeah.
news, Alyssa, is the back of your monitor is pretty clean.
Great.
Yeah. It's all good. But, so yeah, it was actually a very beneficial diary that you made away with. But yeah, you still have no idea what happened to Del Place. You just
I
know
do
that
now.
He died. Do you?
Yeah, he got murdered by the dude he was electroshock therapying.
I mean, it would be deserved.
I kind of want to know what's going on in that private wing too, and if the little. I'll use the good doctor's notes. The derelict or undead thing is still there.
The derelict and or undead thing.
I mean, we can hope, but also kind of concerning if there is a creature of that variety.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does not seem as friendly as Guillaume.
I guess you guys could always try to seance and contact Dr. Del Place. Just talk to him directly.
Well, he seems like he was probably a shitty person, so I don't know if we want to. I don't
mean-
know if we want that for Cleo.
Sure. Yeah.
Either that, or you contact his spirit.
No.
And it's just endless screaming. It's like,
Put the phone down. It's over. Don't go back there. So, I think with that, we'll go ahead and pause just as the bell over the door jingles and you turn and see Paul Mandarin enter, still looking a little not confident, a little awkward. But he spies the Countess and he's like, oh, hi. And he sees the rest of you and he's like, hi.
Don't mind us. No, don't touch her too much.
too much.
Yeah, Emily just goes back to her coffee.
But you're all at this, and Paul just like squeezes in next to y'all. He's like,
I figure we'd left the Countess at her own table, and we're like
Yeah.
three people
Okay.
at another table, like towards the back.
I just see you all in the booth in a diner, and then Paul's like, oh, I'll just squeeze in here, thanks.
Hey guys, we're friends now, right?
Yeah. So, you want to talk about the state of the mental health institutions in France and Europe? Okay. Yeah. It's 1923. It sucks. But yeah, so we will stop there. You have been given a little bit more information. Actually, the asylum was quite beneficial for you. You found out a lot, I think. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what Paul has to say and if Jim shows up.
Jim.
Jim's not going to show up, guys.
Muscle Jim.
He'll walk by and he'll see all of you there with Paul, and he's just like, he just cuts off.
This is weird.
It's because Muscle Jim
Yeah.
is actually Finnick in disguise.
Yeah, and he's like, fuck, they're on to me. But yeah, so thank you all for tuning in this week to Illuminated Page Horror on the Orient Express. This was episode 9. 3 more episodes. 9. We have 3 more episodes this season. So, stick with us a little bit longer. Maybe we'll get these guys on the big train. It's in the name of the show by the end of the first season.
We're
What are you
flying
guys
to the
gonna
next
do?
place.
I was gonna say, or was just fly.
That's fine. I can make weird shit happen no matter what mode of transportation you take.
Ooh, weird shit on an airplane is actually terrifying. So yeah, we'll take the
Weird
train.
shit on a boat, weird shit on an airplane, weird shit on a train. Just, whatever you want. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. And thank you to my wonderful players for being with us tonight. We do not have a show tomorrow night. We do have a show Tuesday night. Remember, it is an hour earlier. It's 7 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. Pacific if you want to tune in for some pirate shenanigans. And then on Thursday, we have our teen ninjas doing more diplomacy stuff in the Land of Seed and Blossom over at Growing Shadows at 7 p.m. on Thursday. And yeah, and then we're right back here on Sunday. So guys, check out the Discord, the YouTube, the Facebooks, the Twitters. We don't have an Instagram. Check all the things. The Discord is popping. You know, you guys hang out. Matt has to mute us because he takes his computer to work and it's too loud. So there's
Yeah.
always something going on. You can ask all kinds of questions about all kinds of games, and there's somebody there who can answer a question and give you a good rec or a good review of those things. So, you know, join us, be one of our nesties, our nest friends. And, you know, we love you. Come back next Sunday. We'll see you all then. So, bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye, friends.
Arrivederci, bon voyage. We're going away. We'll talk
Have a
to
good
you later.
week.
Bye.